of the last week plus, and specifically the final 3 games of this series between the Rays, between the Blue Jays, and what's at stake. Getting an opportunity to host all 3 in the wild card. The Rays certainly want that. Kevin Cash was asked about it, and he said, listen, it's a completely different atmosphere when we leave Tropicana Field. And that means the fan bases, and certainly that fan base is what the Blue Jays want. They want to reward the fans of what they have been through the last couple of years and host playoff baseball at Rogers Center in round number 1. That's why last night's setback by the Blue Jays tightened up the wild card race with all 3 teams trailing Toronto, picking up ground by winning. The Blue Jays still have a 1-game cushion over the Tampa Bay Rays, who are 83-67. The Mariners won yesterday afternoon, 82-67. Those trio in front of Baltimore, 4 games back, still with their wild card aspirations now on life support, even though they took a breath of fresh air yesterday by beating Justin Verlander and shutting out the Houston Astros, who had just swept their 3-game series here against the Tampa Bay Rays. That's a look at the standings update presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook. Time now for the starting lineups being brought to you by Timbermart. Don't strike out on your home improvement projects. Your friend at Timbermart have the great advice and the products you need to get the job done right. Hit it out of the park with Timbermart, Canada's building center. We'll start first with John Schneider and the visiting Blue Jays. A 6-game hit streak for George Springer. The center fielder will lead it off. The shortstop moving up on the card by 1. Bo Bichette flip-flopping with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy's at first base, batting 3rd. Alejandro Kirk, the designated hitter, will bat in the cleanup spot. Matt Chapman hits 5th at 3rd base. Teoscar Hernandez will swing 6th and play in right field. The left fielder, Raimel Tapia, bats 7th. Whit Merrifield, the second baseman, follows, batting 8th. He homered twice last night. Danny Jansen will do the catching with Mitch White on the mound. Jonathan Aranda's the first baseman. He'll bat first for the homestanding Rays. Harold Ramirez will DH and bat second. Wander Franco, the 21-year-old phenom, the shortstop, bats 3rd. Randy Arozarena, rookie of the year last season's in left field. He'll bat 4th. Manuel Margot, the right fielder, will swing at 5th. At 3rd base in his first start of the series, Isaac Paredes, the home run leader for the Rays with 20. Miles Mastroboni makes his first start in the big leagues at 2nd base. Christian Bethancourt will bat 8th and do the catching. Jose Siri, the center fielder, rounds out the order for the Rays, batting 9th. Indoors and on time at the Trop, regardless of the weather outside, which rock and rolled earlier this afternoon. Torrential rain in the area as it ripped through, but we've got an on-time target with the first pitch put into play by Springer, but lined up out to the right for strike 1. Jeffrey Springs rocking into the windup and dealing pitch number 1 of the night against George Springer, who had a couple of base hits last night, including his 4th triple of the season. Blue Jays grabbed a 1-0 lead, then gave 3 back in the bottom of the first inning. Springs deals. Fastball taken high. Check swing. On the appeal, didn't go around. 1 ball and 1 strike on Springer. Doubled up yesterday by Tampa Bay. A 10-5 setback for the Blue Jays. Now 84-66. 1-1 pitch. Down in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blue Jays split their 2-gamer in Philadelphia against the Phillies. And, of course, opening up the 4-gamer last night with the loss. John Schneider changing the narrative, saying, hey, listen, we've got 3 more against the Tampa Bay Rays. And, oh, by the way, Jeffrey Springs has been good against us, but we've got some matchups and a change in our approach. The pitch, and therefore a called strike. Springer had an idea laid off with the pitch over the bottom part of the zone to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays are approaching Jeffrey Springs, taking away 1 of 2 pitches. Lay off the change or the cutter. The pitch. Change-up, swing and a miss. Springer's in the glove, 1 down. Jeffrey Springs has had his way, and Blue Jays aren't alone. He's won 9 games. Very solid. 245 earned run average. Springs on the mound. 26 years of age. On Sunday against the Rangers, recorded the win for the 6th time in his last 9 starts. A lot of one-out homer in the 2nd inning to Josh Young. And the first pitch to Bo Bichette, ripped into left field, a base hit. No slowing down Bo Bichette. Couple of hits last night for his 51st multiple hit game, And he starts off night number 2 at the Trop with a solid single. A one-out base runner here in the first. This first inning is being brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com for more. 1 down, 1 on. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate. Vladdy lost his hit streak last night. Snapped at 14 games. Right-handed batter stares out. The pitch by Springs. Fades low, ball 1. Vladdy hitting .278 on the season after going 0 for 3 with a walk last night. 34 doubles, 30 home runs, a club best, and 88 driven in. Last couple of weeks at an even 300. Deep in the right-handed batter's box. Springs deals. And a changeup on the outside corner, called strike. Vladdy thought that pitch might have been a little bit wide, but Tom Hallian, the veteran crew chief behind the plate, said, nope, that's going to be a strike tonight. He's working with Corey Blazer at first base. Mark Rippinger, the second base umpire. Last night, Phil Cuzzy had the plate. He's beyond third. Good lead by Bichette at first. The 1-1. Sliders high. 2 balls and 1 strike on Guerrero. Blue Jays have dropped back-to-back ball games after winning the opener in Philly. No off day in between. They're stopping the city of brotherly love and then getting to the Sunshine State. It's the first time that the Blue Jays have dropped back-to-back ball games since being handed losses by the Angels on the 26th, 27th, and 28th of August. Blue Jays still rattled off 23 wins in their last 35 games. Spring straightens up. 2-1. Guerrero takes a fastball strike to even the count at 2-2. Blue Jays in the month of September, they are hitting. They've gotten, for the most part, really good pitching. A reason that they've won 14 of 21 played here in a surging September. That's the 3rd best mark in the American League. Top spot in the wild card by a game over the Rays. 7.5 back of the New York Yankees. That's, of course, in the American League Eastern Division. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a changeup. There's no secret what Jeffrey Springs, the lefty, wants to do against all of these right-handed hitters of the Blue Jays. And that is throw cutters running an in, usually on the top part of the zone. And his cutter is good enough not to float out over the middle of the plate. And then bait the Blue Jays into chasing the changeup. He's got outstanding arm action. That ball just rolls off the fingertips. And with Springs and that deceptiveness with that arm action, he can get away with stuff that looks like it's going to hang out over home plate. But he keeps it down in the zone enough to get the Blue Jays off balance. He's got 2 strikeouts and a runner at first. Alejandro Kirk, the hitter. Sinkers outside for ball 1. Kirky back DHing tonight for the Blue Jays, batting 4th. Went behind the plate on Wednesday night in Philadelphia with no restrictions, but still monitored closely, dealing with the left hip issue. Had a little soreness last week. The 1-0. Fastball down the chute, taken for a strike, and it's 1-1. 1 for 4 in the opener. Kirk's average settling in at .298. 19 doubles, 13 home runs, and 61 driven in. Blue Jays catching core splitting the combined 26 home runs between Alejandro Kirk and Danny Jansen, both in the lineup tonight. Infield back with 2 down. Bose held at first by Aranda. The pitch. Fastball's a little high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Defensively tonight, Randy Arozarena playing deep in left field. Straightaway center, one of the best center fielders in the game. And the reason when the Rays lost Kevin Kiermaier, they went after Jose Siri. The right fielder is Manuel Margot. Around the diamond defensively, Isaac Paredes over at third base for Yandy Diaz, who's still nursing that sore right shoulder. 2-1 pitch with Bo going, swung on and missed. Here's a throw by Bethencourt down to second, not in time. Bichette will get the swipe, his 12th stolen base of the year. Kirk tried to protect him with a swing. evening the count at 2-2. Now the Blue Jays looking for a first inning knock. Wander Franco, the shortstop, along with Miles Mastroboni, a very young middle infield. Mastroboni is making his first start in the major leagues tonight after spending 6 seasons in the minor leagues. Wander Franco, the phenom at 21 years of age, at short. Jonathan around it now off the line and deep at first. Pitch to Kirk is a fastball high. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Alejandro. Payoff pitch. Hit in the air up the right field line. Over near the bullpen, Margot bursting with speed. A basket catch right on top of the bullpen mound. Difficult space to navigate for Manuel Margot, but he uses the afterburners again, and he hauls in a fading foul ball beyond the bullpen mound. Man, oh man, the footwork, the eyes looking up at the Tropicana roof, and then a basket catch squeezed it right in the lap to retire Kirk and the Blue Jays. No runs, 1 hit, a runner left in scoring position. First half inning gone by. The Blue Jays will have Mitch White on the mound when we return. This is Blue Jays baseball, served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This game tip is brought to you by the always game-ready Jack Link's Meat Snacks. Stealing signs, bad. Stealing some of your buddy's beef jerky? Also kind of bad, but totally understandable. Jack Link's. Feed your wild side, baseball fans.
This October, you need to be at Rogers Center.
What a crazy night.
Because the postseason will be next level.
Oh, my.
Guarantee your access to Blue Jays postseason with a 2023 season ticket membership.
Unbelievable noise here at the Rogers Center.
Become a 2023 season ticket member and get guaranteed access to this year's postseason.
This team is primed for the playoffs. It is rocking at Rogers Center.
Don't miss out. Go to bluejays.com/season tickets.
Baseball is in full swing. Why not enjoy great Pilsner taste from Miller Lite, the official beer sponsor of MLB? 90 calories and 3 grams of carbs per 355 milliliters. Must be legal drinking age. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Mondays, 10/9 Central.
Looking for stories about the Black community and you don't want to wait until, February? Then check out Beyond Black History Month, the podcast that tells inclusive stories year-round. Like how today's labor movement is connected to the civil rights movement, and why Black neighborhoods keep getting hit with water crisis after water crisis.
We're still being charged for water that we can't use.
Listen and subscribe to Beyond Black History Month on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts from.
I'm Matt Spiegel, and I'm the host of the brand new podcast, Beat the Streak Daily. Every weekday this Major League season, I will update the state of Beat the Streak. The rules are simple. Each day, pick 1 or 2 players you think will get a hit. And if they do, your streak continues. Sounds doable, right? But so far, it's been impossible to win. And with millions of dollars on the line, no one has ever gotten to 56. Subscribe now to Beat the Streak Daily, wherever you get your podcasts, and play Beat the Streak for your chance to win $5.6 million.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Alanis Morissette.
When it first started, I would have my nightly panic attacks, but then I started getting really curious about all the sensations. Like, I just really started looking at, okay, so chest is, I got really kind of granular in observing the details of what was really going on with the breath. It's just survival strategy. It's cortisol cooking nonstop. Chronic stress is trauma.
More at imlistening.org. Talk saves lives.
The baseball season is underway. Swung out and belted. Go!
Watch live baseball coverage on MLB Network with live games all season long and live look-ins, breakdowns, and analysis every night on MLB Tonight. And with MLB Network on your TV, tablet, and mobile device, you can catch the all-day action every day your way on MLB Network.
Back to the Grubhub spelling bee.
Word is enthusiastic.
Repeat in a sentence, please.
She was enthusiastic as her Grubhub order of tempura rolls looked and tasted crispy.
Enthusiastic. ENSUSHIASTIC. Enthusiastic.
On time, lowest price, or we'll make it right. That's the Grubhub guarantee. Terms apply. For details, visit grubhub.com/guarantee.
Ready to pop the question? Let your love sparkle with Blue Nile. Blue Nile has helped millions of couples create their perfect engagement ring. Their easy online tools will let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft her one-of-a-kind engagement ring, the perfect ring to celebrate your love. Right now, go to BlueNile.com and use code RADIO to save $50 on your purchase of $500 or more with guaranteed free shipping and returns.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
Looking for cloud, data, or web help? There's no tech shortage in the room. The Room is a talent community offering highly skilled, ready-to-work talent when you need it. The Room's tech talent is trained to Silicon Valley standards, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and individually matched to fit your needs. Find top-tier tech talent fast, just like the kind of people who developed this cool streaming app you're on right now. Visit trytheroom.com/tech.
You know those headlines that make you stop scrolling and actually read an article? I'm Mike Rogers. Those are the kinds of stories I'm diving into on my podcast, Something Offbeat, like the caterpillar infestation in Maine that had us rethinking our relationship with insects.
We were talking about a time 300 million years ago, if you can imagine. There was a dragonfly. It had a 2-foot wingspan.
Just search for Something Offbeat in the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Everyone, Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
White fell behind, went with a fastball, tried to get it in on Franco, who inside outs it at 92 miles an hour. Sent it the opposite way, tucked it in next to the left field line. And Tampa Bay is threatening with 2 in scoring position and 1 out. Randy Arozarena had a big night at the plate last night for Tampa Bay. White deals. Ground ball towards first, backing up Guerrero. He's got it. Feeds White over at first base. The Blue Jays conceding the run. Ball behind 1-0 on the RBI ground out by Arozarena. Franco will take third base. RBI number 82 for Randy Arozarena. Walking a double, sets up the run. Vladdy took a 2-hopper, angling back to his left, set his feet, then made the quick feed over to White. Racing over from the mound to get the out. Came back looking towards the plate. Franco's aggressive, but not that aggressive. Has his lead at third. The pitch, Margot, a safety squeeze coming down the line. The run will score. Franco crosses the plate. Chapman's got no play on the speed of Margot. Sneaky Rays strike to take a 2-0 lead. That ball was paced 3/4 the way up the line. Bunt single for Manuel Margot. Manuel Margot just has magic touch against the Blue Jays. Now 13 for 29 at the plate this season against Toronto. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Isaac Paredes. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there for a called strike one. Runner at first, 2 out. The pitch popped up. Foul ground beyond first base. Clearing the coach's box, Guerrero onto the warning track, makes the catch, and that will retire the side. A walk, a double, a ground out RBI, and then a bunt single, making it 2-0 Tampa Bay after one. This is Blue Jays baseball, served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ready to pop the question? Let your love sparkle with Blue Nile. Blue Nile has helped millions of couples create their perfect engagement ring. Their easy online tools will let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft her one-of-a-kind engagement ring, the perfect ring to celebrate your love. Right now, go to BlueNile.com and use code RADIO to save $50 on your purchase of $500 or more with guaranteed free shipping and returns.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Santiago Espinal has done it again. An RBI double.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
We go to the second inning, being brought to you by Miller Lite. Baseball is in full swing, so why not enjoy great Pilsner taste from Miller Lite, the official beer sponsor of Major League Baseball. 90 calories and 3 grams of carbs per 355 milliliters. Must be legal drinking age. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Jeffrey Springs will work on Matt Chapman. His first pitch misses for ball one. Chapman 0 for 3 with a walk last night. Springs into the windup. And the cutter's over for a called strike. 1-1 on Chapman. Teoscar Hernandez will follow, then Raimel Tapia. Lefty comes inbound. 1-1, fouled back our way. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Infield, back outfield, playing straight away. Rocking right back into the line. Here comes the pitch. And the fastball's high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Springs lost his scoreless streak against the Rangers the last time out. It spanned 17 2/3, a career best. The pitch. Tails outside with a changeup. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination. It's the deception. He can rack up some strikeouts as well. 6 or more in 11 of his 22 starts. Three-two. Strike 3 called. Fastball on the inside corner. Third strikeout for Springs. His first that goes down looking. 1 down to start the second inning. With Ed Pendino here in St. Petersburg, Florida, I'm Ben Wagner. We're in the Crown Rust Protection broadcast booth. Protect your vehicle with Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Book your appointment today. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Back at baseball control in Toronto tonight, Shaw Ali and Tom Young. Springs to work on Hernandez. Fastball right down the middle, picking for a strike. Teoscar hit his 21st home run of the season last night. The 0-1. Fastball's up and out. 4 hits on Tuesday night against the Philadelphia Phillies. The big long ball yesterday, home run number 21. Knifing into a little bit of a slide for Teoscar Hernandez. He's 9 for his last 47 with 16 strikeouts. Hits the 1-1 in the air towards the bullpen. Margot gauges this one. Speed can't close the distance. It lands in the front row. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Teoscar. 52 extra base hits this season for Hernandez. He's driven home 68. Batting with 1 out, nobody on here in the second. Toronto is trailing 2-0. From the wine, the pitch. Swing and a line drive into center field. Siri has it lined up, makes the play. A little bit of an awkward finish by Jose Siri. That ball was whistled right at him. And then he double clutched at the last moment. Moved the glove from in front of his letters off to the left side. Perhaps a long knuckleball struck by Teoscar Hernandez. Hit the ball too hard. Right up the middle, but lined it right to center. 2 away. Raimel Tapia, the batter. .262 batting average, 6 home runs, and 49 driven in. Trying to get to his career high of 50 that he posted last season with the Rockies. First pitch fastball, lefty on lefty, and for called strike 1. .01. Fastball just outside. Favorable call, and Raimel Tapia's count that evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. .1. Sweeper missed outside. Slider lefty on lefty. Pretty classic pitching pattern right there. 2 balls and 1 strike on Tapia. Springs has got reverse splits. He's actually tough on right-handers. The 2-1. Fastball right at the knees. Called outside. Pretty good pitch. Springs has a couple of borderline pitches go against him. Now 3-1. Raimel 5 for his last 16 at the plate. The pitch. Fouled away to the left. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays are settling in. This is game 2 of a 4-game series. The rest of the set is lined up with pitching probables. Rasmussen will go tomorrow night. Alec Manoah, he'll get the ball on Saturday. Ross Stripling gets the finale against Shane McClanahan on Sunday afternoon. 3-2. Curveball, swing and a miss. Tapia's down on strikes. A perfect 1-2-3 second for Jeffrey Springs. Midway through 2. Tampa Bay 2, Toronto nothing. This is Blue Jays baseball served up.
Back to the Grubhub Spelling Bee.
Word is enthusiastic.
Repeat in a sentence, please.
She was enthusiastic as her Grubhub order of tempura rolls looked and tasted crispy.
Enthusiastic. ENSUSHIASTIC. Enthusiastic. Woo-hoo!
On time, lowest price, or we'll make it right. That's the Grubhub guarantee. Terms apply. For details, visit grubhub.com/guarantee.
Ready to pop the question? Let your love sparkle with Blue Nile. Blue Nile has helped millions of couples create their perfect engagement ring. Their easy online tools will let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft her one-of-a-kind engagement ring, the perfect ring to celebrate your love. Right now, go to BlueNile.com and use code RADIO to save $50 on your purchase of $500 or more with guaranteed free shipping and returns.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
And you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays baseball moves into the bottom of the second inning here at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. Rays 2, Blue Jays nothing. Here's Miles Mastrobuoni, second at bat in the big leagues. The pitch as he hits left-handed, a curveball that floats in there, called strike one. 6 years in the minor leagues, now 26 years of age. Finally got the call, promoted from AAA Durham yesterday, and made his major league debut as a late defensive replacement, and then got his first at bat. The 0-1, fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes on Mastrobuoni. (2016), a 14th rounder, selected by the Rays, and one of 3 actual homegrown Rays in the lineup. For a small market club that does things differently and won't pay their homegrown talent or superstars, they've got 6 guys acquired via trade in the lineup. Curveball in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Mastrobuoni. The 3 that have been homegrown. Wander Franco, of course, the top prospect, number 1 prospect in baseball last year. Jonathan Aranda, and now Mastrobuoni. White's 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball. First strikeout tonight for Mitch White. Starts the second inning. Catcher Christian Bethencourt bats 8th tonight. White working on the last third of the order here in the second. RBI ground out and a bunt single, getting the 2 Ray runs over. Speaking of scoreboards, we'll check it, courtesy of St. Louis Bar and Grill. Game on, Canada. Help us celebrate 30 devilishly good years of being your Blue Jays headquarters. Join us for wings, beer, cocktails, and more. We've got all the bases covered. Pitch fouled back. That's strike 1 on Bethencourt. Download the new app from St. Louis Bar and Grill or visit stlouiswings.com for more. Always devilishly good. Matchups to watch. What Seattle does later on tonight. What's going on with the Baltimore Orioles. And then, of course, Red Sox and Yankees tonight in the Bronx. 0-1. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Important to watch what the Red Sox and the Yankees are doing because the Blue Jays will play them both next week, starting first with a 3-game series against the New York Yankees, then followed up after the off day on Thursday with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Boston Red Sox. But we're watching American League history unfolding in New York. The 0-2. Tap towards Bichette, ranging to his left. Called off by Merrifield, sliding stop, pops up, throws to first, in time to get the out. What great communication in the middle of the diamond. Bichette ranging to his left, slams on the brakes as Merrifield goes into a sliding stop, plucking it on a backhand, and then popped up and made a good throw to first. The call was out. The Rays don't think so. They might ask for a review. But they won't. They use all 20 seconds and say play on. That's a great play. Jose Siri, the batter. 2 out, nobody on. Rays leading 2-0. As Aaron Judge marches towards franchise and American League history, he faces the great 42-year-old Rich Hill tonight. Starting to square, a pitch over for a called strike on Siri. Rich Hill's on the mound for the Boston Red Sox. He is the only active pitcher in the big leagues leading into tonight that has faced Barry Bonds and Aaron Judge. 0-1. Check swing. Take the fastball high. He did. Blue Jays asked for the appeal down to first, and he didn't go around. Of course, nobody hit more home runs in a given season than Barry Bonds in 2001, where he vaulted 73 of them. 1-1. Missed a little bit low. Fastball right at the knees. White couldn't get the call. So ruled missing high, and then the very next pitch looked like he had the bottom part of the zone. Had eluded him twice. Two-one, fouled off at the plate. Barry Bonds was 73 in 2001. That 1998 unbelievable summer between Big Mac and Sammy. Slyman Sosa had 66 in 1998. At the time when Mark McGwire cranked his 70th with the St. Louis Cardinals, that was the single-season record. Until 3 years, it tumbled with Barry Bonds. 2-2, tapped weakly on the left side. Chapman races in. He's got it. High throw to first. Tag attempt by Guerrero. Missed him. On the move and in a run, usually on target with Matt Chapman throwing in between strides. But the speed of Siri escalated that play, and he'll pick up an infield single. Todd, base runner for the Rays. Just a little bit of a high throw. Glad he had to leave his feet to handle it. Aranda to the plate. That's some of the bad luck that Mitch White has pitched himself into. Dinks and dunks and plays like that. Just decided by an eyelash. Aranda on the left side, draws a quick throw. Whoa, over to first. That was a wild one. Vladek springs off to his left to handle it on the fly. Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Big Mac again in 1999 with 65 home runs. 2001, Slam Sammy with 64. Sammy Sosa was 6th overall in single-season performances with 63 home runs in 1999 as well. Those are all National League records. The American League home run record for a single season, Roger Maris from 1961, where he hit the Yankee record, 61 home runs. Of course, that squashed the quip of Babe Ruth when he hit 60. Fastball strike from White. 1 ball and 1 strike on Aranda. Tonight, Aaron Judge takes one more step towards Roger Maris. The family is assembled. Roger Maris, his 2 sons, they're in New York along with other family members. Move towards first and another throw inside on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Has to lead the bag. It's going over to first with pretty good velocity, but not on target. Runner bluffs at first, pitch out, nobody moves. Aranda takes his count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Be very interesting starting on Monday what kind of record books the Blue Jays will be facing with the New York Yankees coming to town. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Will Aaron Judge have number 61 already on the belt? 2-1. Popped up the left field line, twisting, unplayable. Chapman racing over to give it a look. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays last September saw Major League Baseball history established with Miguel Cabrera, the Detroit Tigers in town. Still can't believe Steven Matz threw him a changeup. He took it over the wall in right field for his career 500. Runner at first for the Rays. Pitch. Fastball's high. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the Rays leadoff man. Tampa Bay 2, Toronto nothing. White came set and then steps off. Other scores on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We start back in the Bronx where Tommy Pham left the building. Boston with a 1-0 lead in the first. And now playing the third. 1-0 Red Sox. Runner goes, 3-2 pitch. Rolled on the ground out to Merrifield. A stride to his left. Picks it up. Double clutches out of the glove. Throws on to first in time. And that will finally retire the Rays here in the second. Off to the third. 2-0 Tampa Bay. This is Blue Jays baseball. Served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From Grubhub's glossary, Euphoria, the total bliss of food meeting your mouth and your expectations. As in, one bite of fettuccine sent Kevin into an overwhelming state of euphoria.
Mamma mia, that's good. Satisfy all your food moods with Grubhub. On time, lowest price, or we'll make it right. That's the Grubhub guarantee. Terms apply. For details, visit grubhub.com/guarantee.
Hasta la pasta.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
Ready to pop the question? Let your love sparkle with Blue Nile. Blue Nile has helped millions of couples create their perfect engagement ring. Their easy online tools will let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft her one-of-a-kind engagement ring, the perfect ring to celebrate your love. Right now, go to BlueNile.com and use code RADIO to save $50 on your purchase of $500 or more with guaranteed free shipping and returns.
Looking for cloud, data, or web help? There's no tech shortage in the room. The Room is a talent community offering highly skilled, ready-to-work talent when you need it. The Room's tech talent is trained to Silicon Valley standards, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and individually matched to fit your needs. Find top-tier tech talent fast, just like the kind of people who developed this cool streaming app you're on right now. Visit trytheroom.com/tech.
Whit Merrifield cracked 2 home runs last night for the Blue Jays. Danny Jansen and then George Springer. 8, 9, and 1 batting for Toronto here in the third. Rays in front, 2-0. Right-handed hitter looks out at the lefty, Jeffrey Springs. Rocks back and deals. And the first pitch is clubbed on a line to left field. That's down for a base hit. Takes 2 skips away from Rosarena. Ends up at the wall, and Merrifield's racing for second. He ambushes the first pitch from Jeffrey Springs, and he ropes a double. Looked like that ball was at neck high. Not quite. Was that the letters? Would whipping the barrel through. Gets his second double with Toronto. Runner in scoring position. Starting the third. Danny Jansen, the batter. 0 for 3 doing the catching last night. The pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. Chatting with manager John Schneider before the ball game today, I asked about Santiago Espinal. Sounds like the Blue Jays are going to need every bit of that 10-day hiatus. Although when Espinal realized that oblique was giving him trouble, he shut it down. Alerted the medical staff in Philadelphia about the discomfort. The Blue Jays hopefully will get Merrifield some playing time. Maybe Kevin Biggio if it lines up all right. The pitch taken low on the appeal. Down to first, didn't go around. 2 balls and no strikes. Espinal is going to use every bit of those 10 days. But that's the good news, because if he would have tried to play through it, perhaps further injury would have resulted in weeks. Blue Jays don't have weeks. The 2-0 popped up behind home plate, past the ring, and over the screen into the seats. 2 balls and 1 strike. This third inning is being served up by the always game-ready Jack Link's Meat Snacks. Feed your wild side, baseball fans. Leadoff double by Whit Merrifield. He stands at second. Danny Jansen steps in and then out of the batter's box. Protects the left. That wrist and back of the hand area with a pad. 2-1. Inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Earlier this season, Danny Jansen was struck by a pitch on that bottom left hand and it snapped a bone that already had a pin and plate in it. Took 6 weeks to recover. Twice on the injury list this season. 3-1. Fouled back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays down 2-0. The pitch. Runner goes towards third. Hop, skip, and a jump by Merrifield. The ball taken in at shortstop by Franco. He'll throw to first. Merrifield was in motion. Jumped over that batted ball from Jansen's bat. Safely at third with the throw going to first. There's 1 out. Blue Jays down 2-0, trying to cut into it. But George Springer stepping in. Here comes Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach. Take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill Out-of-Town scoreboard. Top of the 4th inning, the Houston Astros and Baltimore Orioles are sitting scoreless. Houston hasn't scored in that series. They were blanked last night by Kyle Bradish. Had a really good start for Baltimore. And the Orioles picked up a 2-0 shutout win over the Astros to start that series. Cleveland's in Texas tonight. The White Sox will host the Tigers. Matchup in the Central Division to watch. And later on tonight in Kansas City, the Seattle Mariners start their set against KC. Pitch to Springer was tapped away foul, strike 1. Infield drawn in, 3 defenders on the left. Oh, 1. Fastball's inside. It wasn't, but it was called inside. It's a big at bat. That changes it from 2-0 or 0-2 to 1-1. Runner at third, 1 out. The pitch. Bounce towards the shortstop. No movement by Merrifield. Franco takes a couple of peeks, then rifles it to first in time. Springer's retired. Wood tried to bait the rookie shortstop into at least pondering one more opportunity to make a play over at third, see if they could backpit Merrifield, see if he could buy something for Springer. Franco wouldn't take the bait. 2 away. Rays 2, Blue Jays nothing. We're in the third. Here's Bo. Bo singled and swiped second back in the first inning. Another hit for Bo Bichette. He's been among the American League leaders in hits all season long. The pitch popped up down the right field slide. That should get out of play, and it will. Bo, in his hot September, the reason the Blue Jays had the best batting average in the big leagues. A 262 clip. Also lead the American League in on-base percentage and slugging and OPS. And now with 487 extra base hits. That's tops in the junior circuit. Runner at third, 2 out. 0-1. Bichette hits it towards the gap in right center field. Siri's on the move, reaches out and tracks it down. He needed a good jump and had to cover a lot of ground. Siri robbing Bichette of another extra base hit and keeping the Blue Jays off the board. That's a great play by Jose Siri in center field. And it comes to a close. Blue Jays leave the leadoff double at third base. Midway through the third, 2-0 Tampa Bay. This is Blue Jays baseball served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
You know those headlines that make you stop scrolling and actually read an article? I'm Mike Rogers. Those are the kinds of stories I'm diving into on my podcast, Something Offbeat, like the caterpillar infestation in Maine that had us rethinking our relationship with insects.
We were talking about a time 300 million years ago, if you can imagine. There was a dragonfly. It had a 2-foot wingspan.
Just search for Something Offbeat in the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Lead off the day with MLB Central, starring D-Row, Lauren, and Roflo. Live.
Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, now,
man.
100%. With baseball's latest buzz and breakdowns.
We come here to get tough.
I know how to fight. Another mind scrambler right out of the chute.
And daily guests from all around the horn.
Oh, yeah, it does look good on camera.
I thought we were friends.
MLB Central, weekday mornings 9 Eastern, only on MLB Network. Come into Bell Tire today, and you'll get the lowest tire price, period. Like up to $150 off a set of 4 tires with brand names like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Goodyear. You'll also get a guy who will give you free lifetime flat repairs, tire rotations, and alignment checks. Get up to $150 off a set of 4 tires, plus more free services, more out of your tires, and more for your money. It's how we make the lowest tire price feel even lower at Bell Tire. See store at belltire.com for details and offer expiration.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Goodbye! Bo Bichette ties the game with a soaring home run.
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Rays on top at the drop, 2-0. Home third inning for Tampa Bay and Harold Ramirez. Mitch White, the right-hander, rocks into the windup in the pitch. Swung on it, fouled back for strike one. Top 5 in the Tampa Bay batting order. Very productive last night in their 10-5 win over the Blue Jays. 1 through 5 shuffled around tonight, so not exactly apples to apples, but still working with the same bushel here. White deals the strike one pitch. Ramirez swings and misses, and it's 0-2. Top 5 last night when it combined 11 for 23, scoring 8 of the 10 runs and driving in 9 of 10. First time against Mitch White tonight. The top 5 go 2 for 5 with a walk. Both runs scored and producing both runs, obviously. So a lot of production at the top half of the order. Ramirez takes down and away. Ramirez wasn't in the lineup last night. David Peralta was one. Taylor Walls was another. 1-2. Swoops down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back into the line, the 2-2. Hit on the ground towards third, foul. Stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rays certainly have some injury concerns in this series. Yandy Diaz is out with a sore shoulder. He got a cortisone shot in that. Brandon Lowe has been down the last 3 days. He's dealing with a back issue. The pitch, swing and a miss. Wow, he chased the fastball way outside. Ramirez is down on strikes. Wander Franco comes to the plate. Doubled and scored back in the first inning. Bronco batting third. Switch hitter on the left side. The pitch. On a line out to left. Tapia freezes in his tracks. There to make the catch. We'll bring up Randy Rosarena. Further information on the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prayer Personal Injury Lawyers. If life is throwing you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prayer Personal Injury Lawyers, your cleanup hitters. Visit bplawyers.ca. Otis Gurriel Jr. back in the clubhouse late today after being at the player development complex in Dunedin, coming back from a sore left hamstring that's had him on the injured list. Rosarena takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. White comes home. Down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Asked manager John Schneider what's up with Lourdes. Said he's trending very well. He's been hitting. He's done some throwing. Actually ran a little bit today in the outfield over at the complex in Dunedin, about 45 minutes from where we're at, where the Blue Jays host spring training. 1-1. Chopper over the mound. Right to Merrifield in the middle of the diamond. Flags it. Throws on to first in time. 1-2-3 work by Mitch White in the third. Off to the fourth we go. Rays 2, Blue Jays nothing. This is Blue Jays baseball served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Looking for cloud, data, or web help? There's no tech shortage in the room. The Room is a talent community offering highly skilled, ready-to-work talent when you need it. The Room's tech talent is trained to Silicon Valley standards, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and individually matched to fit your needs. Find top-tier tech talent fast, just like the kind of people who developed this cool streaming app you're on right now. Visit trytheroom.com/tech.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Michael Phelps.
You know, I think for me in 2014, when I found myself in that dark place where I didn't want to be alive in those 4 days when I was in my room by myself, after sitting there and thinking about everything, I wanted to find a different way. I wanted to find a different answer. I was sick and tired of feeling how I felt. And that's why I started to seek help. And that's when I checked myself into a treatment center.
More at imlistening.org. Talk saves lives.
MLB Network brings you closer to the game. Watch MLB Tonight, baseball's show of record for breakdowns, analysis, and look-ins to live games.
Oh, Harold, will it get down? It will.
Then Quick Pitch zips through the highlights from every game and gives you a look ahead, all in one lightning-fast hour.
Another historic performance on Wednesday night.
Watch MLB Tonight every night and Quick Pitch late nights and every morning, only on MLB Network. Go to MLBnetwork.com to find your channel number. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
That's a no-doubter. Teoscar Hernandez connects with a grand slam.
Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
This fourth inning is being presented by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Rays 2, Blue Jays nothing. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Alejandro Kirk, and Matt Chapman at the plate. Vladdy looking out at the lefty, Jeffrey Springs. Struck him out, first time head-to-head. Guerrero fouls it back, strike one. That slider was hovering right over the middle of the plate. Man, oh man, that was screaming hitting. Oh, 1. Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Vladdy's 0 for 4 in the series. 1-1. Changeup missed away. 2 balls and 1 strike on the number 3 hitter. John Schneider almost immediately after taking the helm flip-flopped Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the order. The 2-1 pitch. Popped out a play over the first base dugout to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got a lot of clamoring, a lot of conversation around Vladdy batting second versus third. Vladdy seemed to be more comfortable in the original formation of the Blue Jays, batting over the last couple of years, hitting third. But there's an RBI production opportunity for Bo Bichette, the way that he's been driving the ball over the last couple of weeks. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Vladdy's down on strikes for the second time tonight. And I asked John Schneider, is that a byproduct of the bat with Bo Bichette, or is this move even making more sense right now because George Springer's swinging the bat well and he's been able to get on base more frequently? It's not necessarily about getting Vladimir Guerrero Jr. better pitches to hit, or at least changing how they think that an opponent would attack him by flip-flopping, with Alejandro Kirk then batting behind Vladdy. Pitch to Kirk, called strike at the knees, 0-1. Said really it ripples down from Springer. Like last night, George was on twice, including another extra base hit. Oh, 1. On the outside corner with a changeup, and it's 0-2. And Vladdy's hitting a lot of balls in the ground. Some line drive opportunity, finding a gap going down the line. Opportunities for Bo, especially late in ball games. Toronto trails here in the fourth inning, 2-0. 0-2. Another changeup and misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A shake, now a nod, and into the line. 1-2. Fastball's high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jeffrey Springs, slender at 6 feet 3 inches, 218 pounds, from Belmont, North Carolina. Late round draft choice by the Texas Rangers. Now 30 years old. Deals the 2-2. On a line to straightaway center. Siri backpedals, has it lined up, makes the catch. A little flashy making the finish of that catch. Ball glides past his chest, and he's there to make a routine play and look a little bit more difficult. 2 down. Boy, can he ever go get him. Jose Siri. Held the Blue Jays off the board and robbed Bo of an extra base hit back in the 3rd inning. There's a reason that Springs has retired 5 in a row. Here's Matt Chapman. Lefty comes home. And a fastball in the outside corner called strike 1. Jeffrey Springs, drafted out of college from Appalachian State. The 0-1. Fastball's a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Appalachian State, not exactly a powerhouse for baseball, but they get a lot of notoriety with their big knockoffs of Power 5 schools this time of year, with college football taking the forefront, especially down here in the Southeast. 1-1. Popped up. Near the line, in right field. In comes Margot. Has it lined up under the Trop roof. Makes it a 1-2-3 inning of work for Jeffrey Springs. 3.5 gone by at the Trop. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay. This is Blue Jays baseball, served up by Jack.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
What would you do with an extra 20 hours a week? How about 40? Get part-time or full-time help with a virtual assistant from The Room. Trusted by entrepreneurs, executives, even busy families. The Room's virtual assistants are trained, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and matched to fit your needs. Work smarter, delegate more, and get your time back. You have a lot more programs to listen to. Visit trytheroom.com. That's trytheroom.com.
Looking for stories about the Black community and you don't want to wait until, February? Then check out Beyond Black History Month, the podcast that tells inclusive stories year-round. Like how today's labor movement is connected to the civil rights movement, and why Black neighborhoods keep getting hit with water crisis after water crisis.
We're still being charged for water that we can't use.
Listen and subscribe to Beyond Black History Month on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts from.
We're inside the Crown Rust Protection broadcast booth tonight. Protect your vehicle with Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Book your appointment today. Crown, protect, maintain, save. First pitch, a fastball from Mitch White is inside on Manuel Margot. Margot drove the second run in with a bunt single back in the first inning. It's still 2-0. 1-0. Fouled away to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. Four games, 4 different start times. Since this one is already underway, let's focus on the next 2. We will join you at 6 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, and then a little after 1 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. Remaining 2 games of this 4-game set. Pitch inside from White. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-1. Way outside. Slider yanked by the right-hander. Now behind 3-1. Good pitching matchup tomorrow. I mean, a good one. Alek Manoah on the mound for the Blue Jays, getting a bonus day of rest. 3-1. Grounded off towards the right side. Diving stop made by Witt. Pops up to his knees on a bounce. A dig by Guerrero to get the out at first base. The speed of Margot forcing Merrifield to dive and then stay on his knees. Didn't want to come all the way up. With Margot racing up the first baseline. Kept the throw low. Vladdy handled the bounce. And there's one down here in the 4th. With Alek Manoah and his 14 wins and one of the best earned run averages for a young Blue Jay pitcher at 240, 2.40. Pitch to Isak Paredes, yanked into the seats for strike 1. Drew Rasmussen will counter for the Rays. A 292 earned run average. 10-game winner for the Tampa Bay Rays and Drew Rasmussen. Really good pitching matchup. Expect a lot of strikes tomorrow. 0-1. Fouled back. No balls and 2 strike on Paredes. Tampa Bay got 3 of their first 5 hitters on in the first inning, plated 2 runs. Since then, relatively quiet against the right-hander, Mitch White. 0-2. Sliders low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brady started the string for White, going 1 over the minimum. Against the last 9 batters faced. 1-2. That's clubbed up the right field line out of play. Stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Paredes didn't play in the lineup last night. Under games of action, and the clubhouse leader with 20 home runs for this Rays club. They build innings. They just don't crunch home runs. 1-2. Blown away. 2-2 the count. Brady's had a couple of years with the Detroit Tigers, combining for 57 games overall in Motown. He's played in 100 this season. 2-2. Slider missed away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. One out, nobody on. Bottom of the fourth inning. 3-2. Swinging on. Drive out to left field. Tapia back at the wall. He leaps in the air, and he can't make the catch. The ball lands off the top of the padded wall. Lands behind Raimel Tapia. And Paredes will jog into second with a one-out double. Fastball had a lot of home plate. Paredes, a dangerous bat in this Rays lineup, nearly took it over the wall and left. At the top of the padded fence, and then died behind Raimel Tapia. Just to make sure that ball wasn't shot behind him. He turned around looking towards the infield first and realized it was at his heels. One-out double for Isaac Paredes. And now Miles Mastrobuoni, looking for his first hit in the big league, steps in. Takes a curveball over for a called strike one. Oh for 1 tonight. Mastrobuoni went down on strikes against White, leading off the second inning. Changeup in the dirt from the right-hander. Blue Jays trailing 2-0. White with a look back at second. Kicks and deals. Pitch in the dirt, smothered by Jansen. No advance by Paredes. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blue Jays have opened up the left side of the diamond with Bichette shaded towards middle. Springer angles off towards left center. Hernandez way off the line and right. The 2-1. Little dribbler on the right side of the diamond, handled from the bump by White. Little flip over to first base for Guerrero. This will advance Paredes over to third base. 1-3 on the tap out. 2 down here in this fourth inning. Rays have a 2-0 lead. Christian Bethencourt. Well, if you're looking for the perfect addition to your Blue Jays fan cave, how about the water cooler signed by the entire 1992 World Series winning team? This is just one of 8 incredible early bird prizes available during the Jays Care Super September 50-50 jackpot. You can get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050. The pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Nope. No appeal. Takes the slider wide. Ball 1 on Bethencourt. Have you seen the jackpot? It's continuing to rise rapidly. Over $1.3 million, and probably by the end of the night, it'll be at 1.4. Going out on a limb here. Not really. 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Forget the limb. It's a very thick branch. Joining the excitement at Push for the Playoffs and get your tickets right now anywhere in Ontario. Go to bluejays.com/5050. That's bluejays.com/5050. Get involved in the Jays Care Super September 50-50. Bethencourt drills one in the air out to right center field. Springer back at the wall. He leaps, and it's off the top of the fence. Down and in play. Paredes is in from third on an RBI double for Bethencourt. 3-0 Tampa Bay. And twice the Rays have nearly left the yard. Bethencourt banked it off the top of the fence in deep right center. Paredes went high off the wall in left. White's reaction looked like for sure he thought Bethencourt got him. RBI double for Bethencourt. Steve Walker, the pitching coach, out to the mound. Blue Jays baseball being delivered from the Crown Rust Protection broadcast booth. Protect your vehicle with Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Book your appointment today. Crown, protect, maintain, save. 3-0 Tampa Bay, batting in the fourth. Jose Siri, the batter. 1 for 1 tonight. Number 9 hitter takes a fastball inside, ball 1. Siri now 1 for 5 in the series. Already shown the Blue Jays why he is as good in center field as anybody. 1-0. Fouled back to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike on Siri. White peaks back at second. And the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball past his reach. Out to the second baseman, Merrifield. Sidearm sling to first in time. Series retired, so are the Rays. But a couple of doubles off the top of the fence produce another run for Tampa Bay. It's 3-0, moving to the fifth. Rays. This is Blue Jays baseball, served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
What would you do with an extra 20 hours a week? How about 40? Get part-time or full-time help with a virtual assistant from The Room. Trusted by entrepreneurs, executives, even busy families. The Room's virtual assistants are trained, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and matched to fit your needs. Work smarter, delegate more, and get your time back. You have a lot more programs to listen to. Visit trytheroom.com. That's trytheroom.com.
Come into Bell Tire today, and you'll get the lowest tire price, period. Like up to $150 off a set of 4 tires with brand names like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Goodyear. You'll also get a guy who will give you free lifetime flat repairs, tire rotations, and alignment checks. Get up to $150 off a set of 4 tires, plus more free services, more out of your tires, and more for your money. It's how we make the lowest tire price feel even lower at Bell Tire. See store at belltire.com for details and offer expiration.
The listening you love is on the free Odyssey app. Your trusted local radio stations, coverage of your favorite teams, live news from your hometown, and millions of podcasts on demand. Best of all, you can completely customize your listening experience. Follow topics you care about, like leagues and teams. Pause or rewind your local sports and news, and add shows to your queue to catch up later. There's a lot to listen to, so get started and download the free Odyssey app today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
You can forget it! A go-ahead 3-run homer for George Springer!
Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Back at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, the Rays have a 3-0 lead. I'm Ben Wagner. Coming up later on tonight, Show Ali back at Baseball Control. We move to the 5th inning in this ball game. It's being presented by Bet365. With Bet365, you can bet on things like player props, totals, or money lines across many different sports. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Teoscar Hernandez, Raimel Tapia, Whit Merrifield coming to the plate for Toronto. Teoscar looks out at the lefty, Jeffrey Springs, who rocks and fires. First pitch, changeup, swing and a miss, strike 1. Teoscar hit the ball hard his first time up, lining out to center field. 0-1. That's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Teoscar, in the absence of Lourdes Gurriel Jr., along with Whit Merrifield, asked to play a little bit more in left, depending on the Blue Jays lineup on a given day. Hernandez hits one in the air out to deep right field. Backing up Margot in front of the wall. He leaps in the air, and he can't corral it. It hit the leather, then jumped out of the web of his glove. I have to pick it up at the base of the wall, and Hernandez trots into second, standing with a leadoff double here in the 5th. Good drive the opposite way for Teoscar Hernandez. Takes the fastball from Springs. It cut right over the middle. Margot drifting with the play, went leaping into the air at the wall, and that ball hit the palm. It hit the palm of his glove, and he couldn't squeeze it. Popped right off the leather, and Hernandez gets his 31st double of the season. Blue Jays are threatening for the third time tonight. Trailing 3-0. Raimel Tapia, the batter. The pitch. Swinging a line drive into left center field. That's down for a base hit. This will get the Blue Jays on the board. The ball splits Arozarena, and Siri ends up at the 378 marker. It's an RBI double for Raimel Tapia. And it's 3-1 Tampa Bay here in the fifth. Double number 20 for Raimel Tapia. He's matched his career high with 50 driven in. That's a biggie for the Blue Jays, trying to cut into this lead of Tampa Bay. They got a leadoff batter into scoring position starting this fifth inning, and they wasted little time going to work. Get right back on the board. Tapia's now 6 for his last 18 at the plate. Blue Jays have doubled up on pair of two-baggers. And Whit Merrifield, who's red hot at the plate right now, comes to the plate. And Kyle Snyder, the longtime pitching coach, makes his way to the mound. Long way to go. We're in the fifth. And Blue Jays just down 3-1. Blue Jays got a one-out base hit from Bo Bichette. He swiped second base, but was left in scoring position. Whit Merrifield led off the third inning with a double. Went to third on a ground out and was left 90 feet away. Corners are creeping in. Merrifield takes a strike on the inside corner, and it's 0-1 on Whit. Time and time again, Whit is asked about how he's making the adjustment from being an everyday top-of-the-order bat for the Kansas City Royals to be more of a role player in the depth of this Blue Jays lineup. The 0-1. In the air out to straightaway center. It'll hang up for Siri. Backpedals twice, gets moving forward, makes the catch. Tagging at second on his way to third goes Tapia. He'll beat the throw. Siri was in the same line of thinking as Raimel Tapia. Deep fly ball like that. Go back to the bag and tag. So that's why Siri retreated a little bit further, got momentum coming forward, and he made the catch on the fly. That 90 feet might make a difference. We'll see what Danny Jansen will do. One down here in the fifth. Blue Jays trailing 3-1. Blue Jays bullpen in motion. Tim Meza's up and loosening. Race start at the top of the card with Jonathan Aranda, the left-handed batter. Harold Ramirez, and then the switch hitting Wander Franco. Pitch Jano misses for ball one. Infield in. The 1-0. That's high. 2 balls and no strikes. Was asked earlier today by Blake Murphy on our flagship station, Sportsnet 590 The Fan, what's the ideal situation for Mitch White and the Blue Jays? I summed it up. Innings won't matter. Can you get through the order twice? Go out and throw strikes. The 2-0. Jansen takes a changeup in for a called strike. And it's 2-1. White went through the order twice. It looks like they want the lefty Meza to start the third time through the card. Blue Jays trying to get back on the board. Tying run at the plate. The 2-1 pitch. Spins. That's upstairs. Didn't miss outside. He tried to wrap it around the outside corner, but he also missed high. 3 balls and 1 strike on the number 9 hitter. Jansen catching on back-to-back days is 0 for 4 here at the Trop. He's had some good games here against the Tampa Bay Rays. including a playoff performance where he homered twice. He'll take high. That's a 5-pitch walk. Thank you very much. Jeffrey Springs nibbling around. Now he's got to deal with George Springer. Springer 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out and bounced to the shortstop. 1 out, Blue Jays on the corners, trailing by 2. The pitch. Springer flips it out, play off to the right. Strike 1. Blue Jays start tonight with a magic number of 8. But so much more on the line, including, as we keep mentioning, from last night to tonight, that tie-breaking scenario, very important for the Blue Jays if they want to host at Rogers Center. The 0-1, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes on Springer. Blue Jays and Rays look like they're going down to the wire to decide who gets the top seed in the wild card. The Rays will wrap up their series against the Blue Jays, spend Monday off, then play 3 in Cleveland, and then travel to Houston. And wrap up the regular season on the road in Boston. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Springer's down on strikes, chasing the changeup. Two out here in the 5th inning. Tying runs aboard for Bo Bichette. Last night, a double for Bo, his 42nd. Giving him a franchise record for shortstops. Passing the great Tony Fernandez in his prior record, posted in 1988. Bo's got 42 two-baggers. He's also got 24 home runs. Blue Jays would love to see either. Trailing 3-1 here in the 5th. A step and a throw to first. Jansen was hardly off the bag. No action in the bullpen for Tampa Bay. This brings us at 72 pitches working on the Blue Jays here in the 5th. Trying to qualify for a win. The pitch. Bichette moves out of the way, takes it down and in. Ball 1. One ball and no strikes. The 1-0. Bichette lines it into left field, a base hit. Tapia comes home to tap the plate from third. Jansen stops at second. Bo's got another 2-hit ball game, and he stung the ball all 3 times he's been at the plate tonight. He drives home the run to make it 3-2 Tampa Bay. 25 RBIs here in the month of September for Bo Bichette. Man, is he ever red hot. 1-run game in the 5th. Tying run stands at second. Springs deals. Guerrero hits it right back up the middle. Diving attempt by Mastroboni. Off his glove into center field. Jansen's coming around third. He's going to score to tie the game. A liner up the middle. Diving attempt by Mastroboni. He couldn't corral it. Vladdy's got a game-tying RBI. It's 3-3 here in the 5th. All 3 Toronto runs here in the 5th inning. RBI double by Raimel Tapia. Back-to-back base hits by Bo and Vladdy. We're starting fresh at the Trop. A 3-3 score. Bichette stands at third with the go-ahead run. Vladdy's aboard at first for Alejandro Kirk. Javi Guerra is loosening in the bullpen for the Rays. The pitch. Kirk pulls it down towards third base. Backhanded by Paredes. Low throw towards first. Off the bag. Leaving it. Aranda can't make the play, or did he make the play? He did make the play. It'll be a throwing error on the third baseman, Paredes. A scoop by Aranda. Bang, bang play at first. A run comes in as Bo crosses the plate. The Blue Jays have a 4-3 lead. Paredes backed up at third, handled that roller, threw low with all sorts of time, rushed the throw. Kirk beat the play at the bag. He flat out beat it. He powered down then when lunging out with that right leg and hit the bag right before the diving attempt of Aranda. All 4 runs for the Blue Jays to come all the way back here in the 5th inning. And it continues. Matt Chapman takes inside. Vladdy's on at second. Alejandro Kirk at first. Ninth man to bat, Matt Chapman. The pitch. Straightened him up with a fastball. Chapman spins out of the way. Lots of groans from Blue Jay fans assembled here at Tropicana Field tonight in the 5th inning. They'd been stuck on their hands for the majority of the night against the lefty Jeffrey Springs, but finally a lot to cheer about here in the 5th inning. 3 of the first 4 coming to the plate were able to reach. Back-to-back doubles by Hernandez and Tapia. 1-out walk to Danny Jansen. The 2-0. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. That 5-pitch walk to Danny Jansen really turned the worm for the Blue Jays in this 5th inning. With 2 outs, an RBI base hit by Bo Bichette. That hot shot in the middle of the diamond off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That got the Blue Jays tied 3-3. And then Kirk gets the go-ahead run across by reaching on an error. Chapman's 0 for 2 at the plate. Blue Jays batting in the 5th. Now in front 4-3. 2-1. Chapman takes very high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Guerrero on at second. Alejandro Kirk stands at first. The right-hander in Javi Guerra is ready. Springs comes set. And his 80th pitch of the night. A swing and a miss by Chapman. The count is full on Chapman. This will start the runners. Vladdy on at second. Kirk behind him at first. Infield's back, so both runners can get very large leads. And the pitch, fouled back. Three balls and 2 strikes again for Matt Chapman. Runners ready. They go 3-2. Chapman pulls it towards third in the hole, scooped up by Paredes. A throw to first on target this time to retire Chapman in the side. But the Blue Jays score 4 runs on 4 hits Couple of men left, but a brand new ball game at the drop with the Blue Jays erasing the deficit in the middle of the fifth. It's Toronto 4 and Tampa.
Come into Bell Tire today, and you'll get the lowest tire price, period. Like up to $150 off a set of 4 tires with brand names like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Goodyear. You'll also get a guy who will give you free lifetime flat repairs, tire rotations, and alignment checks. Get up to $150 off a set of 4 tires, plus more free services, more out of your tires, and more for your money. It's how we make the lowest tire price feel even lower at Bell Tire. See store at belltire.com for details and offer expiration.
Hey guys, Mike Valeni for Cash the Ticket podcast. If you like sports betting or if you just like sports, it's the podcast for you. We try to cover all the big games and maybe some of the games you didn't even know were important, give you some angles, pick some winners, have a good time, and hopefully help you meander through college and pro football season. So join us a couple times a week to get all your information you need to bet the games that you watch. It's Cash the Ticket on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
MLB Network is back in action for the new season.
Let me get a little more.
And we've got 2 new shows to prove it. At 3 Eastern, sit back and celebrate the game in a new way with Off Base.
Taking this thing to an entirely different level.
Then at 5 Eastern, get all the baseball and betting news on Pregame Spread.
We'll look at baseball from a wide lens, maybe stumble into a few laps.
So get a little more this season. Weekdays on MLB Network. Call the man Timberland because he produces hit after hit after hit. Bo Bichette and the Blue Jays play here on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
We're inside the Crown Rust Protection broadcast booth tonight here at Tropicana Field at St. Petersburg. Blue Jays now have a 4-3 lead, and it happened quick on Jeffrey Springs, where the Blue Jays got back-to-back doubles, a one-out walk, and then RBI base hits from Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and then a throwing error allowed the Blue Jays to take the lead. 4-3 Toronto, last of the 5th inning. Protect your vehicle with Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Book your appointment today. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Mitch White goes through the order twice. Now it's up to the bullpen, not only to relieve Mitch White, but to take the lead and hold it. Jonathan Aranda, Harold Ramirez, and Wander Franco in the top third of the order to face Tim Meza. This pitching change is brought to you by CertainTeed, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. CertainTeed, pro all the way. Meza goes lefty on lefty, and his first pitch misses away. But a cold strike on Aranda. The pitch. Fastball on the outside third, a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes on Aranda. Earlier this morning, General Manager Pete Bendix was on with Blair and Barker, and he called Jonathan Aranda a fearsome hitter. Not intimidated by anybody or any situation at his young age. Meza misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Aranda came up to the big leagues, faced the Blue Jays early in his tenure. Now he's played in 23 games with Tampa Bay. 24 years of age. Swings at the 1-2 and pounds it away foul. One ball and 2 strikes on Aranda. Rays General Manager Pete Bendix went on to say he was not intimidated by any type of pitching style. And this is one of them, lefty on lefty, a 1-2. That's a fastball low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A young age, a good approach, a confident hitter. All building towards success. Ran it through these 23 games, hitting .278 with a couple of home runs. And moved from the bottom half of the order all the way to the top spot. 2-2. Strike 3 called. Fastball on the outside corner. Meza gets the first man to face him. 1 down here in the 5th. Harold Ramirez, the batter. Ramirez, a right-handed hitter with the switch hitting Wander Franco out on deck. Lefty goes to work. Sinker tails outside, ball one. Harold Ramirez had a little pocket of time with the Blue Jays in the minor leagues before he was traded to the Pirates. 1-0. Fastball at the knees, a called strike. Oh, Ramirez didn't like that. Neither did those assembled. They are small, but they are mighty in the reaction here at Tropicana Field. Not like that strike call near to the coaching staff, the Tampa Bay Rays at all. Here's a pitch and a swing and a foul off to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramirez made it to the big leagues with the Miami Marlins. Had a pocket of play with Cleveland, and now in Tampa Bay, where he certainly found a home. Swings at the 1-2 and makes it foul over the Blue Jays bullpen. Anthony Bass is loosening up. Double barrel action in the bullpen for the Rays. The pitch, fouled back. One ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Blue Jays 4, Rays 3. One, 2. Fastball's away. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield back, big gap in left center. The pitch. Ground ball kicks off the top of the mound, out of the reach of Merrifield in the middle. They'll scoot through into center, a base hit. 1 out base runner for Tampa Bay. Take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard tonight. Here at the Trop, the Blue Jays have a 4-3 lead. Adley Rutschman has a dozen big league home runs. Catcher for the Baltimore Orioles hit a solo home run in the 4th. They play in the bottom of the 6th in Baltimore at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. A 1-0 Orioles lead. And Baltimore is looking for more. They have the bases loaded. There's the pitch. Franco takes outside, ball 1. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard, Tommy Pham had the Red Sox in front with his first inning home run. It was 1-0 until the 3rd, and then the 5th happened for New York. Aaron Hicks is homered for the 8th time this year. The Yankees have a 4-1 lead in the top of the 6th inning. Mesa throws low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Cal Raleigh in the top of the 2nd inning, having the Mariners in front 1-0. The Royals answered in the home 3rd. It's now 1-1, bottom 3. The pitch. Oh, my. Mesa throws a fastball, but it's right there on the bottom inside corner, and it's called a ball. That's about the most reaction you'll ever see from Tim Mesa on the mound, and he just kind of tilted his head towards the home plate umpire. That's got to be a strike. Now the 3-0. Low, ball 4. That moves the tying run into scoring position. The go-ahead run standing at first. And Randy Arozarena with his music starting. But first, John Schneider emerges. So the music will continue, but Arozarena will have to face a new hurler. Won't get the lefty, Tim Mesa. It'll be Anthony Bass. In this pitching change, brought to you by Certainty. Certainty Pro all the way. In this 5th inning, the Blue Jays have a 4-3 lead, but the Rays have runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 out. As we go back to baseball control for this pitching change with Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we get to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, some audio to listen to. Jeff Passan on with Blair and Barker. Here's Passan discussing the recent news item that says the Jays might save Manoah for a potential Game 162 if home field advantage is on the line instead of using him for Game 1 of the playoffs.
Rogers Center, when it is packed and there's real stakes on the line, man, that home field advantage is just so huge. But if you lose Game 1, if Kevin Gausman loses and you got to win back-to-back with Stripling and Barrios as opposed to Manoah and Stripling or Manoah and Barrios, boy, you're putting yourself at a real disadvantage, because when Alek Manoah goes on the mound, you're expecting to win that game. And what happens if Manoah pitches for home field advantage and the Jays offense doesn't show up that day and you don't get home field advantage and you lose Manoah? Like, that is truly the worst case scenario right there. And as we know, in any baseball game, even when you have a pitching advantage, what are the odds? 60-40 at best that you're going to win the game. Right. So I think my instinct says you try and win with someone else to get home field and keep Manoah for the postseason. But I understand if John Schneider tries to go that way, if he's put in that position.
That's Jeff Passan on with Blair and Barker earlier this morning. Quick check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Red Sox, Yankees. All eyes on that one tonight as we await Aaron Judge's 61st home run. Nothing from him yet, but New York does lead 4-1. Aaron Hicks with 2 RBI. Gleyber Torres also with a 2 RBI double. That's the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, served up by the always game-ready Jack Link's Meat Snacks. Back to the Trop we go in Florida. Here's our very own Ben Wagner with the call.
Anthony Bass ready to work on Randy Arozarena, who swings at the first pitch and rolls it foul, wide at third base for strike one. Harold Ramirez with one down stands at second with a tying run. Wander Franco behind him at first after being walked on 4 pitches. One was certainly a strike, but that changed the at-bat that Tim Mazur was working on Franco, and he walked him on 4 tosses to put the go-ahead run on base and force the pitching change. Now Bass going righty on righty with Arozarena, pitching for the first time in a week. The right-hander comes set. And now time is called by Arozarena at the plate, and Bass doesn't seem to be too pleased with the late time granted by the home plate umpire, Tom Hallion. Over the last 10 ball games, 8 2/3, just 1 earned run allowed while striking out 9. The right-hander's 0-1, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes on a good slider snapped off by Bass. Working on Arozarena with 19 home runs on the year, but that power has disappeared. He's got 1 home run in the last 19 games. It's a real big turn for Randy Arozarena, who hit 6 home runs in the prior 19 games before the power drought. The 0-2 pitch. Slider in the dirt. That bounces away from Jansen. Runner takes off from third, and Ramirez will reach without a throw. That'll be a wild pitch to move the tying run 90 feet away with 1 out. Jansen blocks him with the best of them in the game. That slider was spiked just off to the far side of home plate. Came up and bounced off his chest, rolled slightly up the first baseline, and Ramirez, reacting on instinct, knew that that ball was going to be further enough away to allow him to advance with the tying run. Now they're on in the corners. The 1-2 pitch. Hit up the right field line, slicing into the corner, and that ball is off the top of the wall and gone! Unbelievable! Randy Arozarena runs into one and hits a go-ahead 3-run homer. Anthony Bass is absolutely stunned. An opposite field homer that hit the top of the wall and shot out of here. (6-4) Tampa Bay on a 3-run home run for Randy Arozarena. Back to work. Bass throws outside to Margot, missing with a slider for ball 1. Opposite field, line drive to right that just had enough on it to sneak it off the top of the wall. Fastball from Bass, called low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Margot. "20 home runs now for Arozarena, and that matches for the club lead with Isaac Paredes. The 2-0. Hit high and deep, up the left field line, headed towards the pole, and it is foul. And not by much. Oh, man. That was really close to going out. Nearly traded paint on the pole up the left field line. Bass deals. Fastball's low. 3-1. Tampa Bay 6, Toronto 4. Boy, did that ever change in a hurry on the Blue Jays. 3-1. Low and away, ball 4. Second walk issued by Blue Jays pitching here in the 5th inning. And that makes it 4 straight to reach. Isaac Paredes, who doubled and scored his last time up, now comes to the plate. Last 7 games for this Blue Jays bullpen has not been kind. An earned run average over 8. A whip at 175. Opponents batting nearly 290. Paredes takes low, ball 1. That's having a little trouble getting that down part of the strike zone. Hasn't been able to locate the slider on the outside corner either. Now time call, the Blue Jays want to huddle it up. Danny Jansen doing a lot of the talking with Anthony Bass. Paredes 1 for 2 in the ball game. Huddle concludes when Merrifield and Bo Bichette will jog back to the positions. Outfield lined up straight away here in the 5th. Six to 4 Tampa Bay on a 3-run go-ahead homer by Randy Arozarena. The 1-0. Runner goes from first. Jansen with the chuck down to second, and it's in time. Huge out on the bases for the Blue Jays to find. Margot caught stealing for the second time this season. A bang-bang play at second. Rays want the review. He took a look at it underneath behind the first base dugout as Danny Jansen throws through the bag at second. Would Merrifield tag the shoulder of Manuel Margot? He's called out, and I think the Rays want a review. We'll find out. Who's wearing the microphone tonight? It's Phil Cuzzy. And we'll hear what the Rays are challenging. Of course, that's an easy one to figure out. I'll call it second base. Phil Cuzzy will find the earbud, communicate with New York. Watching with the naked eye, it certainly looked like Margot was tagged out. The glove went over the forearm of Margot. Contact not made by Merrifield. The tag went into his shoulder. That's going to be really close. The inside hand reaching out with the oven mitt is the play in question. Whether or not there's irrefutable evidence to overturn this, I'm not sure there is. It's close. It's really close. Rays fans reacting on the video replay here in the ballpark. They think it's good enough to get a reversal. Big ball game on the line. 6-4 Tampa Bay after the Blue Jays erased a 3-0 deficit. Tampa Bay loses their challenge here in this 5th inning after contesting the play at second. The call stands. Danny Jansen cuts down Manuel Margot. Was caught for just the second time this season in 8 attempts. 2 down and nobody on. Isaac Paredes will dig back in. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch. Fastball low. 2-1 on Paredes. Tim Meza gives up a base hit up the middle to Harold Ramirez. Walks Wander Franco. The pitching change after Meza misses the minimum. 3 batters. And then Randy Arozarena takes Anthony Bass long the opposite way. Bass deals. Slider outside, and it's 3-1. A go-ahead 3-run home run for Arozarena. He's driven home 4 tonight. 85 now on the year. He has had a massive series against the Blue Jays. 3-1. Fired over, a called strike at 96 miles an hour. That moves the count to 3-2. Nobody on, 2 out. And the 3-2 pitch. Fastball's outside, ball 4. The Blue Jays issued their 3rd walk of this 5th inning. I'll bring up the rookie, Miles Mastrobuoni. Mastrobuoni is 0 for 2. Both at bats came against the starter, Mitch White. White kept the Blue Jays in the ballgame after allowing 2 first-inning runs, settled down. Gave up the 3rd run in the 4th inning. After a 1-out double by Isaac Paredes, Christian Bethancourt doubled him home. Here's the pitch. Bass misses down and in with a slider for ball 1. Four innings in the start tonight for Mitch White. Won't factor in the decision tonight. The pitch. Fastball called high. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Bass nearing 20 pitches in this lengthy inning of relief. It forces David Phelps to start to throw. Just beginning in front of the bump up the left field line. A little flare into center field, a base hit. First one in the big leagues for Miles Mastrobuoni. Is served into center field. And it extends the inning in the 5th for the Tampa Bay Rays. Runners on at first and second. That ball sent out of play. Shane McClanahan retrieves it in front of the dugout. Power lefty will make the start coming up on Sunday against the Blue Jays. But he's in souvenir mode right there for Miles Mastrobuoni. Here comes Pete Walker, the pitching coach, to make the visit with Anthony Bass. David Phelps has moved on top of the bump. He continues to loosen up. Blue Jays are trailing 6-4. It was 3-0 going into the 5th. Blue Jays got back-to-back doubles from Teoscar Hernandez and Raimel Tapia. Tapia driving home Teoscar Hernandez. A 5-pitch walk to the number 9 batter, Danny Jansen. That teed up an opportunity for Bo Bichette. He drives home a run. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. slips one up the middle. That tied the ball game, and then a wild throw by Isaac Paredes gave the Blue Jays a 4-3 lead. Paredes now stands at second base after the Mastrobuoni single. Here's Christian Bethancourt. Pops up the first pitch. Foul ground and over near first. Vladdy's underneath it. Makes the catch. and that retires the side. But 8 men come to the plate. None do more damage than Randy Arozarena, who goes the opposite way off of Anthony Bass, takes it off the top of the short wall and right for a 3-run go-ahead home run here in the 5th. It's 6-4 Tampa Bay as we go to the 6th. This is Blue Jays baseball served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Come into Bell Tire today and you'll get the lowest tire price, period. Like up to $150 off a set of 4 tires with brand names like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Goodyear. You'll also get a guy who will give you free lifetime flat repairs, tire rotations, and alignment checks. Get up to $150 off a set of 4 tires, plus more free services, more out of your tires, and more for your money. It's how we make the lowest tire price feel even lower at Bell Tire. See store at belltire.com for details and offer expiration.
Looking for stories about the Black community and you don't want to wait until, February? Then check out Beyond Black History Month, the podcast that tells inclusive stories year-round. Like how today's labor movement is connected to the civil rights movement and why Black neighborhoods keep getting hit with water crisis after water crisis.
We're still being charged for water that we can't use.
Listen and subscribe to Beyond Black History Month on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts from.
I'm Matt Spiegel, and I'm the host of the brand new podcast, Beat the Streak Daily. Every weekday this Major League season, I will update the state of Beat the Streak. The rules are simple. Each day, pick 1 or 2 players you think will get a hit. And if they do, your streak continues. Sounds doable, right? But so far, it's been impossible to win. And with millions of dollars on the line, no one has ever gotten to 56. Subscribe now to Beat the Streak Daily, wherever you get your podcasts, and play Beat the Streak for your chance to win $5.6 million.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Michael Phelps.
You know, I think for me in 2014, when I found myself in that dark place where I didn't want to be alive in those 4 days when I was in my room by myself, after sitting there and thinking about everything, I wanted to find a different way. I wanted to find a different answer. I was sick and tired of feeling how I felt. And that's why I started to seek help. And that's when I checked myself into a treatment center.
More at imlistening.org. Talk saves lives.
Chapman, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We go to the 6th inning being presented by Bet365. Just download the app and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Boy, has this ball game ever taken a ride on the pendulum. Through the 5th inning, the Blue Jays erase a 3-0 lead, have a 4-3 lead, but then give 3 back in the home half on Randy Arozarena's long ball. Now it's 6-4, Tampa Bay, going to the bullpen, taking away Jeffrey Springs for Colin Poche. Left-handed reliever, pitching in his 61st game of the year with a 307 earned run average. We'll work on Teoscar Hernandez, Raimel Tapia, and Whit Merrifield here in the 6th. Poche deals. Fastball's low for ball 1. Hernandez tonight, 1 for 2. Lined out hard to center field his first time up. And cashed in a leadoff double in the rally 5th. Takes a fastball high. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Hernandez with double home by Raimel Tapia, who matched his career high with 50 driven in. Tapia's on deck. The 2-0. Fastball's very high, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Jeffrey Springs goes through 5 innings. Offense took him off the hook. Now he's lined up to qualify for a victory. 4 runs, 3 of which were earned on 6 hits. Only issued 1 walk tonight and struck out 6. The pitch. Hernandez taking all the way as the fastball cruises over for strike 1. (3-1). That's high, ball 4. Michael, a bat by Hernandez. Appeal goes down to first, but it is ball 4, and the Blue Jays given a leadoff walk. Colin Poche and the pitching change brought to you by Certainty Pro all the way. 4-2 record on the season, 55 2/3. 58 strikeouts, so more than a strikeout per inning, but 21 walks. Despite opponents hitting 189 off the left-hander, 21 walks, helping produce 19 earned runs and 38 hits. The pitch. Tapia takes upstairs, ball one. Tying run at the plate for Toronto. But Tapia, who doubled home a run back in the fifth. He's 1 for 2. And with Poche riding another one high, that'll get Christian Bethencourt out to the bump. A quick mound visit. Lefty with a big nod. And the pitch. At the knees, a called strike. Blue Jays chasing a pair again. Down 6-4 in the sixth. Big gap in right center. The pitch. Tapia fouls it back. Tying run at the plate. Action continues in the bullpen for the Rays with a righty. The pitch to Tapia, taken high at the hands. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jason Adam, briefly a Blue Jay, loosens up in the pen. Two. Tapia rolls it through the left side, a base hit. Rimel's aboard for the second time tonight. The Blue Jays plant the tying runs aboard. First the leadoff walk, now a single by Tapia. First and second for Toronto. And Whit Merrifield, who's had a hot bet on this road trip, coming to the plate. His most power as a Blue Jay last night when he homered twice for the third time in his career. It was the first time since June of 2019 when he hit 2 home runs in a single game against the Seattle Mariners. That, of course, is during his playing days with Kansas City. But doubled his first time up today and then fly to center field back in the fifth. Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach, jogs out to the mound. We'll take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Top of the 7th inning. It's 1-0 still in Baltimore in favor of the Orioles, shutting out the Houston Astros again. Adley Rutschman trying to make his 4th inning home run stand up. He's got a dozen in the big leagues. 7th inning in New York, Yankees and Red Sox are tied 4-4. Tommy Pham, Alex Verdugo have hit home runs for Boston. Aaron Hicks has the long one for the Yankees. Now Poche goes to work. A swing and a miss at a pitch down in the dirt. That's strike 1. Blue Jays with the tying runs on. Hernandez at second. Tapia behind him at first. First baseman Aranda playing in. Big lead by Tapia at first base. That's important with the tying run. The 1-0. Swinging a fly ball up the line and left, turning and going over the picnic deck into the seats. No balls and 2 strikes on Merrifield. With his time with the Royals, now 25 doubles on the year, 9 home runs. The pitch, swing and a miss. 3 pitches, retires Merrifield. 1 down here in the 6th. And here comes Kevin Cash to make a pitching change. Danny Jansen is coming to the plate with the Blue Jays, posting the tying runs on base. Runners on at first and second. Here comes Jason Adam, the power right-hander, to face Danny Jansen in the sixth. 2 on, 1 out. Blue Jays trailing 6-4 as we go back to baseball control. In this pitching change brought to you by Certainteed Pro all the way. Here again, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we get back to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, some more audio, more from Jeff Passan, who is on with Blair and Barker for his weekly appearance this morning. Here is Passan with Jeff and Kevin discussing the idea that the playoffs are much ado just for someone to lose to the Dodgers in the World Series. Here's what Passan had to say about that, the chances of the Atlanta Braves in the NL, and just the chaos the postseason often brings.
I'd stack their offense up against most in all of baseball. So the fact that we could potentially get that in the NLCS, that feels like a World Series before the World Series. And hell, I mean, Atlanta might be out after the wild card round. We have to recognize the nature of baseball, and that it is different than basketball and football and other sports, in that in baseball, the best teams lose about 40% of the time. And when you're talking about a short series, 3-gamer in the wild card, 5 in the division series, even 7 in the LCS and World Series, there's a lot of variability that can happen there. And the best team doesn't always win, let alone get to the World Series.
That's Jeff Passan on with Blair and Barker earlier this morning. Quick check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Major League scores. Red Sox at Yankees. Again, all eyes on that one tonight as we await Aaron Judge to hit number 61. The game is now tied 4-4. Aaron Hicks with 2 RBI. Gleyber Torres the 2 RBI double. But Alex Verdugo with a 3-run shot. Garrett Cole and Aaron Boone tossed after arguing with the home plate umpire. Cole was at 103 pitches before getting tossed, so it wasn't exactly a huge difference maker. And Astros at Orioles, Baltimore now leading 4-0. Adley Rutschman with a home run. Cedric Mullins and Terrin Vavra also adding runs as well. That's a quick check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, served up by the always game-ready Jack Link's Meat Snacks. Jason Adam on the mound for the Rays. Back to the Trop we go. Here's Ben Wagner with the call.
All right, thanks a lot, Show. Danny Jansen, the batter, batting ninth tonight in the order for John Schneider, 0 for 1. Took a pivotal walk back in the rally 5th inning where the Blue Jays dug themselves out of a 3-0 deficit to score 4 runs. Now Jansen at the plate with the tying run. Good speed in front of him at first and second with Hernandez and Tapia. A leg lift and a pivot back by Adam. No throw to look at Hernandez. Third arm to throw tonight after Jeffrey Springs got the start, went through the first 5. Colin Poche got 1 out, facing 3 batters here in the 6th. Adam looks back again, out of the plate. Jansen takes the slider over for a called strike 1. Adam went to the big leagues for the first time in 2018 with the Royals. 31-game audition. Blue Jays picked him up in 2019, where he made 23 appearances and went 3-0 as a Blue Jay. Big leads on the bases with the tying runs. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Couple of go-arounds with the Chicago Cubs through the pandemic season and last year for Jason Adam. Only 25 combined appearances with Chicago. The bulk of his work in the big leagues right here with Tampa Bay, where his career has had a renaissance. 64 appearances and a 148 earned run average. And nothing comes close to touching the dominance that he's had this season at Tampa Bay. The 0-2. Hit on the ground, up the left side, a base hit. Hernandez cuts the bag at third. He'll come in to score. Trouble in left field with Arozarena picking up that ball. The Blue Jays easily score the run on an RBI base hit for Danny Jansen. Jansen will advance to second on the throw. Raimel Tapia with 1 down stands at third base with the tying run. That ball rolled into left center field off the bat of Danny Jansen. He delivers big time for the Blue Jays. An RBI single, drawing Toronto within 1. 6-5 Tampa Bay. Rays will draw the infield in. Second and third for Toronto, one out. George Springer at the plate. Here's the pitch. High fly ball out to right field. Should be deep enough. Margot backpedals, comes moving forward, makes the catch. Tapia coming down the line. It's a good throw on a bounce. Not in time. Raimel Tapia hits the plate, does a push-up, flexing with a game-tying run. 6-6 on a sacrifice fly from George Springer. 2-run 6 for the Blue Jays. They've evened up the score here at the Trop. Margot got his momentum coming forward while making the catch right in front of his chin. Delivered a good throw on a bounce to the plate, but it was late. Can't challenge the speed of Raimel Tapia. Strong with the legs, strong with the forearms as well. Does a couple of push-ups after splashing across home plate with the tying run. Now Bo Bichette. Go ahead run at second. The pitch to Bo. Fouled off to the right. Strike one. Bo's had a big night at the plate with a couple of singles, a stolen base, an RBI, and a run scored. Oh, 1. That's very high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bo's reached base in 21 out of 22 games this month. Blistering the ball at over 400. The 1-1. Low and away. Good backhanded stop by Bethencourt. That keeps the go-ahead run at second. They're adjusting the scoring decision on Danny Jansen advancing over to second base, not on the throw, but on an errant left on a Rosarena. Still in scoring position for Toronto, the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Bo chased the elevated fastball, and he's frustrated with himself. He took the pitch 2 prior in the same exact spot, and then he went after the 95-mile-an-hour heater. And he slams himself on his head with his right hand. Go-ahead run in scoring position. 6-6 game in the 6th. Adam to Bichette. Lined off to the right, foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Opponent's hitting 139 off of Jason Adam. Blue Jays have gotten to the right-hander before. It was a rally at Rogers Center after Adam had retired the first 13 Blue Jays that he faced this season. Now the 2-2 pitch. That's high at the hands. Third time in this sequence that Adam has tried to pick that exact same spot. Bo has taken 2 out of the 3. The one that he didn't take, he was really frustrated with himself. He's worked the count to 3-2. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is out on deck. Runner at second, 2 out. Adam looks back. Now the right-hander to the plate. Bichette fouls it away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Infield back, outfield playing straight away. Another payoff pitch coming to Bo Bichette. He fouls another one right back. 95-mile-an-hour center cut fastball. That might have been the best pitch for Bo Bichette in the entire at bat. Had a lot of home plate just above the knees. 2 already in for the Blue Jays here in the 6th. The 6th man to bat. Go ahead run at second. And the 3-2 to Bo. Up and away, ball 4. Runners on at first and second. And here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and a retooled lineup. Flip-flopping with Bo Bichette, who had been moved into that number 3 spot over the last couple of weeks. Goes on with a 2-out walk. Brings up Vladdy with runners on at first and second. Toronto's trying to take the lead with the second consecutive at bat. Rallied for 4 in the 5th. Now looking for a 3rd to claim back the advantage here in the 6th. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Went over the slider for strike 1. 60 2/3 of relief for Jason Adam. 72 strikeouts. This issued his 15th walk. Six ball game in the 6th. Adam brings it home. Guerrero fouls it away at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes on Vladdy. Last loss for Jason Adam. That's September the 12th rally at Rogers Center. Go ahead run at second. The 0-2. Guerrero swings and misses at a slider way out of the zone. He's down on strikes and frustrated as he slams his helmet down at home plate. The side is retired, but the Blue Jays will play a pair here in the 6th inning to tie the game. Danny Jansen delivering. A game-tying RBI single with George Springer, part of the rally in the 6th. After 5.5, 6-6 ball game. This is Blue Jays baseball, served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks.
What would you do with an extra 20 hours a week? How about 40? Get part-time or full-time help with a virtual assistant from The Room. Trusted by entrepreneurs, executives, even busy families. The Room's virtual assistants are trained, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and matched to fit your needs. Work smarter, delegate more, and get your time back. You have a lot more programs to listen to. Visit trytheroom.com. That's trytheroom.com.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Michael Phelps.
You know, I think for me in 2014, when I found myself in that dark place where I didn't want to be alive in those 4 days when I was in my room by myself, after sitting there and thinking about everything, I wanted to find a different way. I wanted to find a different answer. I was sick and tired of feeling how I felt. And that's why I started to seek help. And that's when I checked myself into a treatment center.
More at imlistening.org. Talk saves lives.
MLB Network is back in action for the new season.
Let me get a little more.
And we've got 2 new shows to prove it. At 3 Eastern, sit back and celebrate the game in a new way with Off Base.
Taking this thing to an entirely different level.
Then at 5 Eastern, get all the baseball and betting news on Pregame Spread.
We'll look at baseball from a wide lens, maybe stumble into a few laps.
So get a little more this season. Weekdays on MLB Network.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A grand slam by Gurriel, and he ties the game.
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Bottom 6 at Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg. Blue Jays and Rays are tied 6-6. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. continues his frustration after chasing that slider way outside the zone. Banding with the Blue Jays, holding the tying run or go-ahead run after tying the game. leaving the go-ahead run in scoring position. Now a pitching change brought to you by Certainty Pro All the Way. Jose Siri against the right-hander. Sidewinder, Adam Simber misses inside with ball one. 6-6 ball game in what has been a wild 5th and 6th. Blue Jays raced a 3-0 deficit with 4 runs at the top of the 5th inning. Gave the lead back on the Randy Arozarena 3-run homer. And then rallied for a pair to tie it 6-6 in the top of the 6th inning. Siri takes a strike on the inside corner, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch, a bunt right back to the mound. Simber fields his position. Wide throw at first base. The toe by Guerrero holds the bag. Simber's tough to deal with if you're at the plate or if you're at first base, handling that sidewinding throw. And it's always going to tail and run and go all over the place. Siri made the mistake putting it too hard right back towards the pitcher. One down to open up the 6th. Here's Jonathan Aranda. Aranda takes outside, ball one. Javi Guerra's back up, loosening the bullpen for Tampa Bay. Rays at the plate in the 6th, tied 6-6. Now at the top of the order. Aranda, the left-handed batter, takes way outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. This is a matchup the Blue Jays are considering over and over and over, bringing Adam Simber into the ballgame to face left-handed hitters. Stubb still plays in reverse splits. The pitch. Hit high in the air underneath the B ring. Underneath it, Teoscar Hernandez. Waiting on the descent. Catch is made, and there are 2 down. Six score here in the 6th. In the 7th inning, Alejandro Kirk, Matt Chapman, and Teoscar Hernandez lining up, likely to face Javi Guerra. Harold Ramirez has been on twice tonight with a walk and a single. He scored 2 runs. Takes a slider in for a call, strike 1. Oh, 1 fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes. Long time since being a farmhand with the Blue Jays. Traded in 2016, along with Drew Hutchison to the Pittsburgh Pirates for Reese McGuire. Ramirez lobs one in the air out to right. Over near the line, Hernandez has got it, makes the catch. That's a 1-2-3 inning of relief for Adam Simber. Off to the 7th we go at Tropicana Field, tied at 6. This is Blue Jays baseball, served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
Looking for cloud, data, or web help? There's no tech shortage in the room. The Room is a talent community offering highly skilled, ready-to-work talent when you need it. The Room's tech talent is trained to Silicon Valley standards, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and individually matched to fit your needs. Find top-tier tech talent fast, just like the kind of people who developed this cool streaming app you're on right now. Visit trytheroom.com/tech.
From Grubhub's glossary, Euphoria, the total bliss of food meeting your mouth and your expectations. As in, one bite of fettuccine sent Kevin into an overwhelming state of euphoria.
Mamma mia, that's good.
Satisfy all your food moods with Grubhub. On time, lowest price, or we'll make it right. That's the Grubhub guarantee. Terms apply. For details, visit grubhub.com/guarantee.
Hasta la pasta.
Seventh inning baseball here at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, where we're knotted up at 6 runs apiece. This ball game in the middle stages certainly has gotten wild after the Blue Jays fell behind 3-0. They rallied to take the lead with a 4-run fifth, and then fell behind on the Randy Arozarena opposite field line drive home run that scraped the top of the wall and then popped out of play for a go-ahead 3-run homer. Answered back in the top of the 6th with a pair. Now we're tied 6-6. Alejandro Kirk, Matt Chapman, and Teoscar Hernandez out to face Javi Guerra. And the pitching change brought to you by Certainteed. Certainteed, pro all the way. Guerra, the right-hander, ready. The pitch to Kirk. A slider that swoops in for a called strike one. So much on the line between these two teams. Tie-breaking scenarios, essentially separated by 1 game in the wild card race. Blue Jays come into play tonight, owning the top spot in the American League wild card. Kirk takes a fastball at 98 miles an hour, called strike. 9-0-2. Oh-2. Outside with the slider missing for ball one. A win tonight for Tampa Bay would draw them equal with the Blue Jays to lead the American League wild card. The standings update is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book with 63 million members worldwide. Check swing at the slider by Kirk. Did he go? No, he did not. Bet365, 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Mariners are in action tonight. Baltimore Orioles are playing as well. They're fighting for every win. The 2-2, fouled away to the right. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Orioles are helping themselves. They rallied for 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning and now own a 6-0 lead over the Astros and have outscored the Astros in the first 2 games of that series, 8-0. Houston's high-powered offense that's produced 99 wins this year, shut out in Baltimore. The 2-2. Kirk hits it on a line out to right field. Margot breaks back to his right. He's there, makes the catch. 1 down to start the 7th. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Tommy Pham, Alex Verdugo, Aaron Hicks, all with home runs in the Bronx. That ball game sits in the 8th, tied 4-4. Mariners, by the way, on the road. They're in Kansas City tonight. Cal Raleigh had Seattle in front 1-0 in the 2nd, but the Royals have played it a pair in the 3rd and in the 5th to lead 4-1. Now playing in the top of the 6th. Pitch to Chapman is low for ball one. Guerra working in the 7th. The 1-0. Slider that just missed, perhaps low, in favor of Chapman. 2 balls and no strikes. Chapman tonight is 0 for 3. Hitless in the series. The 2-0. A fastball that's low, called a strike. He's not going to like that. That's a big pitch in the at-bat. Could have been 3-0. Had the plate, didn't have the height. 2-1. Fastball, that is called low. Good idea if you're Javi Guerra. Hey, why not? Go back to the well. Three balls and 1 strike. The pitch to Chapman. Swing and a miss. 3-2. This is center cut fastball at 98 miles an hour. Guerra's got some giddy up. There's no doubt about that. Slender build for the right-hander. Not standing that high on the hill at 6 feet even. 185 pounds at 26 years of age. Garrett debuted with the Padres and deals. Chapman takes outside, ball 4. Close pitch. Blue Jays with a go-ahead run back on base. Brings up Teoscar Hernandez. Javi with his appearance tonight for Tampa Bay, matching his career high with 14 appearances out of the bullpen. Pitching 14 of the 60 games for the Padres back in 2020. 13 games last year in his first go-around with the Rays. Here's the pitch. Fastball's low on Hernandez. I'll step that back, by the way. Pitched once with the Padres this season, then acquired by the Rays. So he's matched his career high with 14. Chapman with the lead at first, the 1-0 in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes on Teoscar. Hernandez led off the 5th inning with a double, came in to score, part of the 4-run rally, and then scored one of the 2 runs that helped the Blue Jays tie the game in the 6th. Opened up the at-bat in the 6th inning, working a walk. The 2-0. Hernandez takes a strike at the knees. It's 2-1. Blue Jays got 9 men to the plate in the 5th inning. 7 came to the dish in the 6th. That's where all the offensive scoring has been for the Blue Jays tonight. Had a chance in the 1st, left a runner in scoring position. But Merrifield opened up the 3rd inning with a double. He was left at 3rd. The 2-1. Hernandez takes outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Top of the 7th inning, tied 6-6. Big hole on the right side for Teoscar. The 3-1. Ground ball out to the shortstop. Franco's got it. Goes to second. Mastrobone's got one on the first. In time. Double play to retire the side. Taylor made hopper right at the shortstop, Wander Franco. The rookie Mastrobone making his first start. Had a clean pivot. Guerra faces the minimum here in the 7th. And at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, now it's time to stretch in the middle of the 7th. Tied 6-6. This is Blue Jays baseball, served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
Looking for cloud, data, or web help? There's no tech shortage in the room. The Room is a talent community offering highly skilled, ready-to-work talent when you need it. The Room's tech talent is trained to Silicon Valley standards, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and individually matched to fit your needs. Find top-tier tech talent fast, just like the kind of people who developed this cool streaming app you're on right now. Visit trytheroom.com/tech.
Come into Bell Tire today, and you'll get the lowest tire price, period. Like up to $150 off a set of 4 tires with brand names like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Goodyear. You'll also get a guy who will give you free lifetime flat repairs, tire rotations, and alignment checks. Get up to $150 off a set of 4 tires, plus more free services, more out of your tires, and more for your money. It's how we make the lowest tire price feel even lower at Bell Tire. See store at belltire.com for details and offer expiration.
Fantasy football leagues are won on the waiver wire, and with trades, and with savvy starter sit decisions. The Fantasy Football Today podcast will help you along the way with the best advice on how to manage your team and dominate your league. With 8 episodes per week, Fantasy Football Today is the only resource you'll need. Start, sit, grade the trade, fantasy cops to settle your league disputes, and so much more. Check out Fantasy Football Today anywhere podcasts are found.
I'm Matt Spiegel, and I'm the host of the brand new podcast, Beat the Streak Daily. Every weekday this Major League season, I will update the state of Beat the Streak. The rules are simple. Each day, pick 1 or 2 players you think will get a hit. And if they do, your streak continues. Sounds doable, right? But so far, it's been impossible to win. And with millions of dollars on the line, no one has ever gotten to 56. Subscribe now to Beat the Streak Daily, wherever you get your podcasts, and play Beat the Streak for your chance to win $5.6 million.
Back to the Grubhub spelling bee.
Word is enthusiastic.
Repeat in a sentence, please.
She was enthusiastic as her Grubhub order of tempura rolls looked and tasted crispy.
Enthusiastic. ENSUSHIASTIC. Enthusiastic.
On time, lowest price, or we'll make it right. That's the Grubhub guarantee. Terms apply. For details, visit grubhub.com/guarantee.
Hey guys, Mike Valeni for Cash the Ticket podcast. If you like sports betting or if you just like sports, it's the podcast for you. We try to cover all the big games and maybe some of the games you didn't even know were important, give you some angles, pick some winners, have a good time, and hopefully help you meander through college and pro football season. So join us a couple times a week to get all your information you need to bet the games that you watch. It's Cash the Ticket on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
MLB Network brings you closer to the game. Watch MLB Tonight, baseball's show of record for breakdowns, analysis, and look-ins to live games.
Oh, Harold, will it get down? It will.
Then Quick Pitch zips through the highlights from every game and gives you a look ahead, all in one lightning-fast hour.
Another historic performance on Wednesday night.
Watch MLB Tonight every night and Quick Pitch late nights and every morning, only on MLB Network. Go to MLBnetwork.com to find your channel number.
The listening you love is on the free Odyssey app. Your trusted local radio stations, coverage of your favorite teams, live news from your hometown, and millions of podcasts on demand. Best of all, you can completely customize your listening experience. Follow topics you care about, like leagues and teams. Pause or rewind your local sports and news, and add shows to your queue to catch up later. There's a lot to listen to, so get started and download the free Odyssey app today.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
Down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Simber deals. On the inside corner, called strike to even the count at 2. Nobody on for Tampa Bay. The 2-2. Fouled away at the plate. Stays 2 balls and 2 strikes on Manuel Margot. Margot had a bunt RBI single back in the first inning. Bounced out to second, leading off the 4th. Then took a walk in the 5th. Then was caught stealing. Grounds 1 out to Bichette. Shuffle step to his left. Shuffling while going upright, on to first in time. What relief by Adam Simber. He comes in and he gives the Blue Jays 2 scoreless frames through the 6th and the 7th. He's been perfect. Off to the 8th, tied at 6. This is Blue Jays baseball.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
What would you do with an extra 20 hours a week? How about 40? Get part-time or full-time help with a virtual assistant from The Room. Trusted by entrepreneurs, executives, even busy families. The Room's virtual assistants are trained, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and matched to fit your needs. Work smarter, delegate more, and get your time back. You have a lot more programs to listen to. Visit trytheroom.com. That's trytheroom.com.
Odyssey knows that football fans can't get enough football. That's why we've got nonstop football coverage on the free Odyssey app. Podcasts and live shows dedicated to every pro team. NFL play-by-play and enough game talk for the most diehard fans. Local radio stations talking football, interviews with star players and coaches, and football fans being fans.
What kind of play calling was that?
Listen to everything you love about football, live and on demand with the free Odyssey app. Get in the game and download today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Gurriel's up with a throw. It's on the money, and they got him. What a throw by Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Top of the 8th inning here at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, where the Blue Jays and the Rays sit in a 6-6 tie. Raimel Tapia will lead off the frame. Whit Merrifield and then Danny Jansen. Javi Guerra will stay aboard, and there's no action behind him in the bullpen. Guerra faced the minimum after issuing a one-out walk. Got Teoscar Hernandez to bounce into an inning-ending double play. Rolls a slider in on Tapia for strike one. Big gap again in right center field. Or go off the line and right. 0-1. Popped up. Humpback liner into shallow center. There's Bronco, one down. Well, there's certainly nothing like October baseball in person, and you'll want to be at Rogers Center when it gets louder than any ballpark around the league, and the Blue Jays need you part of it. Postseason tickets will go on sale Wednesday, September the 28th at 10 a.m. That's this coming Wednesday for Blue Jays postseason tickets. Mark your calendars and visit bluejays.com/postseason to get yours. When Merrifield steps in, takes a slider strike. The 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. With tonight in the number 8 spot is 1 for 3. Doubled, but was stranded at third base back in the 3rd inning. It was really tough on the Blue Jays because that double started off the frame. 1-1. Merrifield cracks it on the ground sharply. It's scooped up at third by Paredes. On to first with the throw, 2 out. To the 6th and the 7th. Isaac Paredes, rookie Miles Mastroboni, and then Christian Bethencourt scheduled to come up. Slider strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Jansen quietly has been a big producer tonight for the Blue Jays. Took a walk back in the 5th inning, came in to score, and then drove home one of the 2 runs to tie the game in the 6th. 0-1. Get on the ground. Rolled to the third baseman. Paredes has got it. On to first in time. 1-2-3 at bat by the Blue Jays here in the 8th. Middle of the 8th. Still no change in the score. 6-6 in this game from Florida. This is Blue Jays baseball, served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Baseball is in full swing. Why not enjoy great Pilsner taste from Miller Lite, the official beer sponsor of MLB? 90 calories and 3 grams of carbs per 355 milliliters. Must be legal drinking age. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This game tip is brought to you by the always game-ready Jack Link's Meat Snacks. Want to start the wave? Hold a piece of beef jerky above your head. The crowd will think you're sharing and raise their hands to get your attention. Jack Link's. Feed your wild side, baseball fans.
This October, you need to be at Rogers Center.
What a crazy night.
Because the postseason will be next level.
Oh, my.
Guarantee your access to Blue Jays postseason with a 2023 season ticket membership.
Unbelievable noise here at the Rogers Center.
Become a 2023 season ticket member and get guaranteed access to this year's postseason.
This team is primed for the playoffs.
It is rocking at Rogers Center. Don't miss out. Go to BlueJays.com/season tickets.
September 22nd to October 6th, NHL insiders Elliot Friedman and Jeff Merrick are taking 32 Thoughts the podcast on the road. Visit a Boston Pizza near you and join 2 renowned hockey storytellers. Get the inside scoop on everything around the game. Plus, you never know what special guests will join the show. Experience 32 Thoughts the podcast with Friedman and Merrick at 7 different Boston Pizza locations around Ontario. For tickets and info, visit 32tour.com. Some lineups may only have a twig or two in their batting order, but the Blue Jays have an entire stack of redwoods. The Toronto Blue Jays live on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Great to have you alongside for the Crown Rust Protection broadcast booth here tonight. Protect your vehicle with Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Book your appointment today. Crown, protect, maintain, save. I'm Ben Wagner. We're at the Tropicana Field tonight. Show Ali is back at baseball control in Toronto. Isak Paredes has been pulled back. G-Man Choi is coming off the bench to pinch hit. Jimmy Garcia is out on the mound, taking over the pitching for Toronto here in the 8th. We're tied 6-6. This pitching change is brought to you by Certainteed Pro all the way. Choi has been a tough out for the Blue Jays over the course of his career. The first pitch by Garcia lands a breaking ball in for strike 1. Choi went 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored last night. Left-handed hitter. Garcia deals. Missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Choi is pinch hitting for somebody that has 20 home runs in Isak Paredes. The pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. First batter of the 8th inning in a 6-6 game. Closer for the Rays, Pete Fairbanks. Up in the bullpen. 2-1. Pop back our way. Off to the left it lands. Evening the count at 2-2. Two. Out of play off to the left. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Miles Mastroboni, the rookie, out on deck. Christian Bethancourt also scheduled to hit here in the 8th. Blue Jays and Rays tied at 6. Shift up to the right, the 2-2. Is just off the outside corner. Garcia unleashing a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for the first time. Choi was late on the reaction. Pitch just missed the outside edge. Good crowd at the Trop. One of the biggest we've seen in quite some time. 3-2. Fouled back. 8,799 at the ballpark last night. Nearly doubled. 17,407 here tonight at Tropicana Field. Hopefully big crowds on the weekend, too. It's a battle for first place in the American League wild card. The 3-2. Check swing. Fastball called low. Oh, goodness. It was right there at the knees. Choi gets the benefit of the doubt. The Rays take a leadoff walk. G-Man Choi works a leadoff walk here in this 8th inning, and now Taylor Walls, who is in the original starting lineup today, is a starting second baseman, which was removed because of a nagging groin injury, appears as a pinch runner. Big moment for somebody that's got a creaky leg. Miles Mastroboni, the rookie, watches Garcia checking on the lead of Walls over at first base. Go-ahead run stands at first. The pitch. Mastroboni takes a fastball strike. I don't know with the groin if they would put Walls in motion or not. He's successful in 9 of his 12 stolen base attempts in the big leagues. The pitch. A little tapper at the plate, foul. Handled on hot by Danny Jansen, but on the backside of the line, so it's 0-2 on Mastroboni. First hit in the big leagues was a flare to left center field for Mastroboni his last time at the plate. He's 1 for 3. And now 1 for 4 in the major leagues. Garcia deals. Pitch is fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes. Ahead for the Blue Jays in the 9th. Right at the top of the order, George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The 0-2 pitch, up and out. Good patience by Mastroboni. Six-year journey for through the minor leagues, trying to get to the major leagues. Finally got the late September call from AAA Durham. The 1-2. Bounce through the hole on the right side, a base hit. Walls is streaking around second. He'll go to third with a go-ahead run on the second hit in the majors for Mastroboni. He yanks one through the open gate on the right side with Vladdy holding the runner at first base. That hole opened up. And now the Rays, with nobody out, have runners at first and third. And that leadoff walk certainly hurts. Now the Rays are going to go back to the bench. Christian Bethencourt had been out on deck. But the Rays are going to go to the bench. And David Peralta, the left-handed hitter, gets announced. And Pete Walker makes the jog to the mound. Blue Jays, Rays, 6-6, bottom of the 8th. Runners at first and third with nobody out. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Ed Pendino, Tom Young, they're behind the scenes tonight. Back at Baseball Control, Show Ali. I'm Ben Wagner. Rays and Blue Jays in a knockout, drag him down fight tonight. 6-6 the score in the 8th. Blue Jays raised a 3-0 deficit, briefly led 4-3. Randy Arozarena shocked the ballpark with an opposite field home run. A 3-run go-ahead shot. At the time, made it 6-4. Now 6-6 in the 8th. The pitch by Garcia. Slider low, ball 1. Peralta in the lineup last night as a starter in left field. Went 2 for 5 at the plate, but his 2 runs were big ones. Singled home run in the 4th, doubled home run in the 6th last night in the 10-5 Ray win. 1-0. Popped him up. Shallow in right field. Walls goes back to third. Not deep at all. Hernandez is there. Makes the catch. Walls is coming down the line. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. 7-6 Tampa Bay on a sacrifice fly from David Peralta. That was not struck deep at all in shallow right center field. The pressure on Hernandez to make an accurate throw to the plate. It was slightly up the third base line. Jansen positioned himself behind the dish to take a truer hop. Couldn't get the tag onto the body of Walls, and the Rays have the lead. Mastrobuoni will take second base on the throw to the plate as the Rays take the lead, 7-6 here in the 8th. 1 out. Jose Siri, the batter. The pitch. Fouled away to the right. A leadoff walk in the 8th inning burns the Blue Jays. Miles Mastrobuoni followed with a base hit. Walls using that speed. Took an extra 90 feet. Rays continue the pressure. Runner at second. Pitch by Garcia. Fastball high. 1 ball and 1 strike. One. Broke his bat with a foul ball at the plate. Siri examines the lumber. That boy was right on it. Meets him in the ring around home plate. The new piece. We'll check the St. Louis Bar and Grill Out of Town scoreboard. What's happening in the American League with a wild card race? Another shutout win for the Baltimore Orioles. They do it to the Astros 6-0 tonight. After Kyle Bradish teed it up last night with superb work and a 2-0 win, Dean Kramer wins his 8th tonight. 1-2. Swing and a miss by Siri. He's down on strikes. And there are 2 out here in the 8th. Top of the 9th inning in New York. It's the Yankees 5 and the Red Sox 4. Yankees broke a 4-4 game in the bottom of the 8th inning. Aaron Judge still sitting on 60 home runs on the season. Oh, first base open and 2 outs. Jimmy Garcia will not throw to the left-handed hitting rookie, Jonathan Aranda. He'll get an intentional walk and go righty on righty now with Harold Ramirez. Ramirez today has walked and scored, singled and scored, going 1 for 3. The pitch, ground ball out to the shortstop. Under the glove of Bichette and into left field. Around third, Mastrobuoni will score, and the Rays pick up a huge run on a fielding error. 8-6 Tampa Bay. Ramirez got it in play. Mastrobuoni bolting around the bases on contact. scores easily with that ball underneath the reach of Bo Bichette, trickling into left field. The Rays pick up a massive insurance run here in the 8th. 8-6, Tampa Bay. First error on the Blue Jays tonight. 2 down, runners at first and second. Garcia to Wander Franco, batting left. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. A win tonight will secure the head-to-head series for Tampa Bay against the Blue Jays. That certainly could factor in to the end of the season, the tie-breaking scenarios. 1-0. On the outside corner, a fastball called strike. Yusei Kikuchi is loosening up in the bullpen for Toronto. One. Fouled back to our left. Eight, 6, Tampa Bay. 1-2. Fouled back by Franco. Says 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Rays try to take advantage of every opportunity, every situation to force their opponent's hand and play disruptive. They did it on a shallow fly in right center field, forcing Teoscar Hernandez and the Blue Jays to make a pinpoint throw to the plate. Walls tested it with his speed. They beat the throw. The throw was actually a little bit up the third baseline. 1-2. Fouled away to the left. He's 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's the difference, plus an added run on the air. Eight, 6, Tampa Bay. Garcia desperately trying to get out of this 8th. He's ready for his 25th pitch. Here it comes. Fouled back. Garcia dialed up to 98 miles an hour on a challenging fastball for Wander Franco. The Rays win would equal the Blue Jays in the wild card race. Mariners are in action tonight in Kansas City, now in the 8th, trailing 5-1. 1-2. Breaking ball, tapped towards second. Vladdy's got it, and he's got no play. Snaps the throw back to third, diving back to the bag. Aranda's in there safely. Infield single for Wander Franco. Chopped on the turf on the right side of the diamond. Vladdy came circling for it. Had no shot to get Franco at first base. Tried the back pick of the runner at third. Everybody's safe, and they're loaded up. Bases loaded, and Randy Arozarena coming to the plate. Two down. The pitch. Fouled back to the right. Strike 1 on Arozarena, who took a hefty cut. Randy Arozarena became the first batter in 198 faced on the right side of the plate against Anthony Bass to hit a home run. Hadn't happened since August of 2021. Garcia deals. Fastball's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Arozarena. His 20th home run, certainly significant. A go-ahead 3-run homer in the 5th inning. Made it 6-4 Tampa Bay. Blue Jays let that live shortly. 1-1. In for a called strike. 1-2. Toronto tied the game 6-6 with a pair in the sixth. And now in the eighth, trail 8-6. '30th pitch in relief is a fastball high on Arozarena. Now Jimmy Garcia has thrown more pitches in relief than at any other point in this season. Going over 30 pitches. And used 30 pitches against the Angels back on August the 27th. And that was just one long frame. This one's long, too, in the eighth. Bases loaded. The 2-2. Swinging a shot up the left field line. Screaming towards the pole and foul. Two balls and two strikes on Arozarena. He was trying to lean on a knockout blow there. A sacrifice fly and a fielding error, allowing both runs. Now another pitch. Hit high and deep out to left field. Tapia turns around. It's off the top of the wall. 2 runs are in for the Rays. Throw to second. Arozarena's thrown out. Randy Arozarena tried to sneak into second base as he banked one off the top of the left field wall. The Rays score Ronda and Ramirez, and they make it 10-6 over the Blue Jays. As we go to the ninth, this is Blue Jays baseball served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Michael Phelps.
You know, I think for me in 2014, when I found myself in that dark place where I didn't want to be alive in those 4 days when I was in my room by myself, after sitting there and thinking about everything, I wanted to find a different way. I wanted to find a different answer. I was sick and tired of feeling how I felt. And that's why I started to seek help. And that's when I checked myself into a treatment center.
More at imlistening.org. Talk saves lives.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. With honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be shared with friends or family. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
Bill.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
There's a new mark in the franchise record books. The Blue Jays have scored 28 runs at Fenway Park.
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back inside the Crowd Rush Protection broadcast booth tonight. The Tampa Bay Rays take the mound with Pete Fairbanks in a brand new ball game. The Rays score 4 in the bottom of the 8th inning and now own a 10-6 lead over the Blue Jays. Protect your vehicle with Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Protect your vehicle with Crown. Book your appointment today. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Defensive changes being announced for the Rays in between innings. Pete Fairbanks is aboard in a pitching change courtesy of Certainteed. Certainteed Pro all the way. Blue Jays have the top of the order to lead it off. George Springer against Pete Fairbanks, the hard-throwing right-hander. Rocks himself idle in the pitch. Fastball at 99 miles an hour, taken inside for ball 1. George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. David Peralta stayed in the ball game. He's in left. Taylor Walls stays on. He's the third. And Francisco Mejia behind the plate. 1-0. That's high. 2 balls and no strikes on Springer. The 2-0. Fouled off to the right. 2 balls and 1 strike. Consecutive ball games, the Rays have posted double figures on the Blue Jays, winning 10-5 last night, in front 10-6 tonight. Randy Arozarena with a 3-run home run and a 2-run double, and also an RBI ground out. 6 of the 10 runs produced by Arozarena tonight. 2-1. High and tight. Watch out. Right under the chinny chin of Springer. He goes tumbling out of the way. Blue Jays in danger of dropping consecutive games against the Rays in this 4-game set. 3-1 is fouled back. Springer tonight is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, putting a modest 6-game hit streak on the line. Had a sacrifice fly that got the Blue Jays their 2nd run and a 2-run 6th. 3-2. That's high, ball 4. Fairbanks missed at triple digits. Issues a leadoff walk. Those things help. Every little bit. With the Blue Jays batting here in the 9th, trying to erase this 4-run deficit.
Nice play, Bo. Thank you.
Runner at first. They'll hold Springer. The pitch by Fairbanks. Swing and a miss. Oh-1. Bichette fouls it away at the plate. Got a chunk of his body in the batter's box. Outfield lined up deep and playing straight away. Infield's back. Rays 10, Blue Jays 6. Oh, 2. Tied him up. Did he offer? He did not. Bull able to lay off the swing, and now he comes away grimacing, holding his left side. He was really torqued. Tried to hold up on the swing and then stopped his body and comes away feeling for that back left side down by the obliques. And here comes John Schneider, along with manager is the trainer, Jose Ministral. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. shoulder to shoulder, checking in on his buddy as well. He's okay. He talks himself into the game. Blue Jays down 4 runs. Nobody out, runner at first here in the 9th. The pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Bichette's down on strikes. 1 away in the 9th. Blue Jays trailed 3-0. They erased that. Got back into the ball game. For a brief moment, had a 4-3 lead over the Rays. Fell behind 6-4. Game back tied at 6-6. Now trailing 10-6 here in the ninth. One down for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Springer's aboard at first. The pitch. Slider on the outside corner, called strike one. Alejandro Kirk standing out on deck. Across the network tomorrow with a good pitching matchup, Alek Manoah, Drew Rasmussen. We begin at 6 o'clock Eastern. 0-1 to Vladdy. Swing and a miss. He's trying to put that one in the drink of the Bay. 99 mile an hour. His best, your best, here it is. And Fairbanks won it with a 99 mile an hour fastball. Runner at first, one out. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a heater. Back-to-back strikeouts for Fairbanks in the ninth. Randy Arozarena right in the middle of every Ray rally. Driving home 6 of the 10 runs tonight. Two down for Alejandro Kirk. The pitch. In for a called strike at 100 miles an hour. Oh, and 1 the count. Blue Jays down 4 runs. The pitch. Fastball tails down and away. Fairbanks pauses for a moment. Kirk Reddy's at the plate. Fairbanks covers up his left ear, cupping it like a seashell held up so he can hear the PitchCom device better. The 1-1. Slider on there for a called strike. Blue Jays are down to 1 big cut. Some long faces in the Blue Jay dugout. 4 runs in the 8th. Huge break for the Rays. 10-6 leaders in the 9th. Runner at first. The 1-2. Fouled back. $17,407 at Tropicana Field tonight, providing the most energy we felt in this ballpark in some time. Mitch White got the start tonight. Allowed 2 first-inning runs. Gave up a third, but kept the Blue Jays within striking distance, pitching through the order twice against Tampa Bay. The 1-2. Ground ball up the middle. To his left. Franco's got it. Sets. Throws to first to finish the ball game. Randy Arozarena has an unbelievable night at the plate for the Tampa Bay Rays. He delivers a go-ahead 3-run home run in the 5th inning and then drives home a pair in the 8th, part of a 4-run 8th inning rally to snap a 6-6 tie and help the Rays pick up a 10-6 win and secure at least a series split in this 4-gamer against the Blue Jays as the Rays tally 10 on the opener and win it 10-6 here tonight over the Toronto Blue Jays. It was a long one at the Trop, 3 hours and 21 minutes overall, 17,407. Watch it unfold with the Rays posting a 10-6 win We'll take you through the totals, get our play of the game, and return to Tropicana Field right after this with Blue Jays baseball served up by Jack Link's Meat Snacks on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Just like us at Bears Radio, our friends at Office Revolution really get the game. They furnished a global sports marketing agency in Fulton Market that won Crane's coolest offices. They know work is not just about conference rooms. This space has leather couches, bar stools by the tap, and even stadium seating for brainstorming great plays. Office Revolution knows your office represents your culture, brand, and should be a space where the team wants to work. Visit office-revolution.com to see what they can do.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Alanis Morissette.
When it first started, I would have my nightly panic attacks, but then I started getting really curious about all the sensations. Like I just really started looking at, okay, so chest is, I got really kind of granular in observing the details of what was really going on with the breath. It's just survival strategy. It's cortisol cooking nonstop. Chronic stress is trauma.
More at imlistening.org. Talk saves lives.
Looking for cloud, data, or web help? There's no tech shortage in the room. The Room is a talent community offering highly skilled, ready-to-work talent when you need it. The Room's tech talent is trained to Silicon Valley standards, vetted through a rigorous data-driven process, and individually matched to fit your needs. Find top-tier tech talent fast, just like the kind of people who developed this cool streaming app you're on right now. Visit trytheroom.com/tech.
That bell means there's a new tire store in Yorkville, Bell Tire. It also means you'll get up to $200 off a set of 4 tires at our grand opening sale. We want you to come get tires, but we don't want you to come back until you have to. That's why Bell Tire will give you up to $200 off 4 tires, plus more free lifetime tire services to help you get more out of your tires. $200 off 4 tires. What are you waiting for? Come get the lowest tire price, period, at Bell Tire. See store belltire.com for details. Now open on Market View Drive.
And you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Another night in St. Petersburg ending with tropical depression. Blue Jays beaten for a third consecutive time here on this road trip. The finale against the Philadelphia Phillies and then back-to-back losses here in St. Petersburg. It's been a long time since the Blue Jays lost 3 in a row. You have to go all the way back to the 26th, 27th, and 28th of August against the Los Angeles Angels, where the Blue Jays lost 3 in a row. And that's the way that it stacks up tonight with a 10-6 setback. Also important in this one, the season series secured by the Rays with tonight's win. Now 10-7 over the Blue Jays with just 2 head-to-head remaining. Big win for the Rays. They have drawn even with the Blue Jays in the wild card race. We'll check that and much more, as well as your phone calls, your texts, and your tweets coming up with Blue Jays Talk. Joe Ali and Julia Kreutz coming up in just a couple of moments. Let's take it through the totals in this one. With the loss, the Blue Jays are now 84-67 on the year. That record is equaled, and so is the play for the wild card lead with the Rays and the Blue Jays. Both teams 84-67. Rays 10 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. At the plate, Tampa Bay 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position, 6 men left on base. The Blue Jays at the plate today go 6 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. At the plate, 4 for 14 with runners in scoring position, 7 men left on base. Jimmy Garcia will take the loss. Anthony Bass, who delivered a go-ahead 3-run home run to Randy Arozarena, blows his 4th save of the season. That was early in the ballgame, though. Garcia, though, charged with 4 runs, 1 earned in 1 inning. That was the long one where he threw 33 pitches in the 8th. He falls to 4 and 5. The Wind, Javi Guerra, his first with the Rays and on the season between the time with the Padres and the Rays. Now 1-0 on the year. This ball game lasted 3 hours and 21 minutes. Big crowd here at the Trop, 17,407. Watched it unfold here tonight with the Rays rallying for a 10-6 win. Time now for our play of the game, brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games. Build your own bet and make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Mitch White allowed 2 runs in the first inning. Blue Jays fell behind 3 runs through 4, but then rallied for 4 runs in the 5th. The Blue Jays got the bat started with a double from Teoscar Hernandez, RBI double by Raimel Tapia, a 1-out walk issued to Danny Jansen, base hits by Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. driving in runs, and Alejandro Kirk bounced into the throwing area. That allowed the go-ahead run to score. Blue Jays had a 4-3 lead after 4.5, but the Rays rallied against Anthony Bass when Randy Arozarena, for the first time, a right-handed batter since August of 2021, a right-handed hitter hit a home run off of Anthony Bass, a 3-run go-ahead shot. That made it, at the time, 6-4 in favor of the Rays. The Blue Jays answered back with 2 runs immediately in the 6th inning. RBI base hit by Danny Jansen, sacrifice fly for George Springer, and the Blue Jays had a 6-4 lead. That carried us into the 8th, where the Rays got it all started with a leadoff walk issued by Jimmy Garcia. Miles Mastroboni picked up his 2nd hit in the big leagues, a sacrifice fly, as Taylor Walls, the pinch runner, took 3rd base on the base hit by Mastroboni. Credit David Peralta getting it in play. Walls with the speed, challenging Teoscar Hernandez, came in, he scored on a sacrifice fly, and that was a huge start to an inning. An intentional pass issued to Jonathan Aranda, and then Harold Ramirez stepped to the plate with a chance to do more damage. Ramirez today has walked and scored, singled and scored, going 1 for 3. The pitch, ground ball after the shortstop, under the glove of Bichette and into left field. Around third, Mastroboni will score, and the Rays pick up a huge run on a fielding error. 8-6 Tampa Bay. 8-6 Tampa Bay, and Randy Arozarena, after a base hit by Wander Franco, another chance to do damage, delivered a 2-run single off the top of the wall, tried to make it a double. He was thrown out at second base, but Arozarena, a massive night, driving in 6 of the 10 runs for the Rays in the win. They secure at least a series split of this 4-game series. Now the Blue Jays have to get this taste out of their mouth and rebound for a 6 o'clock first pitch. Drew Rasmussen and Alek Manoah, the pitching matchup on Saturday night. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock Eastern here from Tropicana Field. Now for the guys behind the scenes, Tom Young, Ed Pandino. I'm Ben Wagner saying goodnight from Tropicana Field. Your final score, the Tampa Bay Rays 10, the Toronto Blue Jays 6. Let's go back to baseball control. And now Show Ali will bring you your interaction with phone calls, texts, and tweets on Blue Jays Talk.
Welcome to Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Show Ali with you as we discuss this 10-6 Jays loss to the Rays. A series clincher, actually, for the season series for the Rays. 10-7 the season series in favor of Tampa after tonight. So the best the Jays can do is 10-9 if they win the final 2 games tomorrow and Sunday, which, of course, could, in theory, have wild card home field advantage implications. I have to say, if the difference, this is something we've been talking about the last couple of games, if the difference between playing the Rays at Rogers Center or the Trop is indeed using Alek Manoah in game 162, like John Schneider had said, Shai Davidi tweeting that out yesterday, I believe. If that's the difference, if tonight is any indication, then I think you do whatever it takes. If it's Manoah in game 162, you do whatever it takes to make sure you don't have to play at the Trop in the playoffs, because good God, I think I speak for everyone. Me, Ben, probably Tom, everyone, all the fans, that we don't want to see any more of the Trop. Yeah, it's not good stuff. Good stuff does not happen at the Trop very often. Give me a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. 590 is the text line. Leave your name and location if you do send a text. Get it all out. Vent to the text line. Call in to me, right? Whatever you want, call or text. I just ask that you keep it PG if possible. I know the tenor of these things aren't always super positive after losses, especially the way this one went. But I'll say this, I'm not really sure any super broad conclusions can be taken from a game with the amount of like wild and wacky stuff that happened tonight, like just wacky stuff at the Trop, generally speaking. It's like Murphy's Law, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. The games at the Trop are never easy, right? Low percentage home runs, fielding errors on routine plays, reliable relievers being shaky. I don't know what it is, but the whole, little Trop of horrors type of stuff continues. And it was an ugly ending, no doubt, especially in the 8th inning. we'll have to monitor for this. The absolute icing on top of this god-awful outing would be Bo Bichette getting injured. So we'll keep an eye out for that from any updates on Twitter or from Schneider himself. So we'll see on that. Bo Bichette, of course, reaching for his side after a pitch near the dome in the ninth inning, top of the ninth inning. He struck out. He did stay in. The trainer and Schneider and Vladdy all approached him. He seemed to be okay, but these kind of innocent looking plays are where you can kind of get bitten a little bit. So we'll monitor for that. And look, I won't spend a lot of time on this evening because generally speaking, I think we all feel the same way, but man, doesn't it feel as though every single night, and I don't even think this is limited to the Blue Jays, but doesn't it feel every night in almost every baseball game you could possibly watch, AL or NL, there's a good argument for robo-umps. Honestly, like Mesa got squeezed on a 2-0 pitch that should have been 2-1, ends up 3-0. The next pitch he buries ends up as a walk. Jimmy Garcia, I dare say this could have been a turning point in this ball game. Ji-Man Choi, very first batter of the 8th inning, lasers a throw at 3-2, clearly a strike. Clearly. Calls it a ball. Choi walks. Taylor Walls comes in to pinch run. Next batter, he gets all the way to third base. Like, I'm not laying the loss solely at bad umps. Like, the Jays could have done more in other spots. Like, they didn't have a hit after they tied the game in the 6th inning, just a pair of walks the entire rest of the game. But again, we live in a world where the technology exists, where like tennis was a big thing today, right? Roger Federer retiring, where tennis balls can be shown to be within fractions of an inch, whether they're in or out. And you're telling me we just have to live with strike zones being as inconsistent as they are? Like, that just seems, in 2022, it just seems unacceptable to me. But look, I'm not laying it at the feet of the umpires by any means. It's just, you just hate to see those kinds of things be crucial, pivotal moments in ball games. That's just where I fall on that. Let's start, though, with a couple of texts. Let's get to the text line. I see here one from Chris in Ottawa. No complete games this season, plus rare inning starts, 8 inning starts equals an overworked bullpen and blown saves. I see here, let's see, Mike in Canmore, BC, I believe, right, Mike? They're trying to go a third of the season with 4 starters, has now caught up with the Jays. Too many bullpen games and short starts. The pen is worn out. There's no name on this one, although it is like a GTA area code. Hey, show, with the pitching staff in shambles, it is not out of the realm of possibility that we could choke this thing away. Still go back to the trade deadline when we needed to do more than the Band-Aid fixes from Atkins. So let's get to that, right? Mitch White thoughts, and certainly thoughts on Zach Pop and Anthony Bass, who give the home run to Rosarena today. Mitch White, though, 10 pitches in, immediately, guys on second and third with 1 out. Rays cash in the few runs essentially right away. A double from Franco, a pretty soft double too, all things considered. A bunt single from Margot. Mitch White did settle down after that to a degree, but in the 4th inning, Isaac Paredes and Christian Bethancourt absolutely lasered balls that were maybe inches from being home runs both times, both going just off the top of the wall. I think they cash in the 3rd Tampa Bay run at that point. It was a dangerous tightrope walk for White, but as soon as the Jays took the lead in the 5th inning, they got White. He got right out of there. No issues with that from me. You get 4 innings of work from Mitch White, especially after 2 innings from Barrios last night. Given how hard White was getting hit at the end there, you take that and you get him out of there. We can't be picky about games at the Trop, given the sheer sorcery that seems to go on there on a regular basis. But they took White out of that game at precisely the right time. The final line on him tonight: 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Why don't we get to the phone lines here? 416-870-0590, star 590 on the cell. I'm not sure who's the on line 2, guys. Who's on line 2 here? No, you're not sure yet? Okay. We'll get to the phone lines in 2 seconds when we get the name out there. Still taking the call here. But still, give us a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cellular device. And again, you can text me at 590-590, name and location. But just to wrap up this thing on Mitch White, Anthony Bass, and Zach Pop, there was a time where we were discussing the acquisition of White, Bass, and Pop as being not so bad. And I think maybe it was in the aftermath of Frankie Montes not looking so great for the Yankees, and people are kind of saying, okay, well, if that's the big trade, then in a comparison's sake, how does it look for the Jays? Maybe, I think there was some validity to that. How the Jays deadline moves weren't so bad. I generally think Zach Pop, at the very least, I think the jury is still out on Pop. I have a feeling he's going to be much more heavily used in 2023. The underlying metrics for Pop, I think, look pretty good. So I'm interested to see what Zach Pop looks like when we get him down in that Dunedin pitcher development complex. But Anthony Bass, I mean, he's looked more vulnerable as of late. Of course, he gives up a home run to Rosarena. Again, a dinger that, with the first dinger given up by Bass to a right-handed batter all season long. He walked a guy immediately after that. Like, again, Murphy's Law, right? It just seems that whenever the Jays head down to Florida, it's just not great. It was a home run in just 4 of 30 ballparks. It was probably extra bases anyways, based on where it would have hit on the wall. But, man, that is just silly. Meza and Bass looking more mortal tonight, and then you add that to what we got from Garcia, certainly tonight as well, but Garcia a couple nights ago, Simber and Romano just a few days ago. Simber looking better tonight. We'll get to Simber in a little bit, but admittedly, it is not what you want from the bullpen at any time, but specifically at this time of year against this specific opponent in this specific venue. The bullpen, generally speaking, hasn't had the best stretch recently, right? Like, I don't think it's necessarily time to smash the panic button. Guys have down stretches. It's going to happen, and it's not going to happen at convenient times. They have been largely reliable over a pretty long sample size this season. And on Simber, too, he pitched very, very well today. As much as the bullpen has been a little shaky as of late, he has been a stabilizing presence tonight, specifically over 2 innings of pretty efficient work. He's going to see a lot of lefties most of the time. They seem to like using him in that situation. But clean innings is where you want Simber, right? That's what we talked a lot about in that extra innings loss to Philly. I've said this before. Simber is just not a guy you want coming into this game to put out a fire. Right? He's not the guy you want to put out a fire with a runner on second or third with less than 2 outs. So generally speaking, I think he's been pretty effective, but that's not the kind of pitcher he is with guys on base. He puts the ball in play a lot. So if that's the case, you don't want guys in scoring position and then bringing in Simber. And we saw that not be the case tonight, and he looked pretty good. So that is nice to see that he can be effective with no traffic on the mound. Of course, the flip side of that is how you can't control when the usage of other pitches as much as you'd like to, which means that sometimes you might have to bring in Simber with guys on base and traffic around him. And if that's the case, then I think there is a bit of a problem. Again, we talk a lot about is there swing and miss stuff for the Blue Jays bullpen a lot? Probably not. But again, I'm going to give Meza and Bass a mulligan tonight based on their body of work this season. But still, I think you gotta kind of keep a wary eye on someone like Anthony Bass. Okay, let's get to the phone lines. Again, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star